Well, happy Friday, everybody. What's going on? I don't know that there's ever been a happier Friday than this in my entire life. The Sports Bash is live at Jersey Cal in Northfield. It is their third anniversary party. You ever do a sports talk show with ice cream?
Never.
Me neither. Today's a first. Welcome aboard.
With ice cream, but not at ice cream.
I don't know that I've ever had ice cream during the show before. Oh, well, we'll have fun today. We are at Jersey Cal in Northfield, and you can stop on out all day long and hang out with us. It's in Northfield, and it's a Eagles-Chiefs weekend, and we had a sweep last night of the Mets. I mean, what feels better than sweeping the Mets right on out of Citizens Bank Park? The filthy, bed-bug-feeling Mets. That's what their fans are like, bed-bugs. They just crawl on you, and they just kind of hang
crumbling
around.
Now, though. They are deteriorating. They're crumbling before
great.
Our very eyes.
You know, it's just fantastic. It's poetic to see what's happening. Not only the Mets right now crumbling, they are only a game and a half up. They might be out of the playoffs altogether. It's amazing that 2 weeks ago, we had the same conversation the other way around about how the bedbug Mets came and swept the Phillies for 3 straight, and then you return the favor, but for 4. You couldn't do it for 3, you do it for 4. It just feels a lot better. And I'll tell you what, it was a 4-0 Met game, and at that point you felt like, okay, I can give you 1, you bedbug. I can give you 1. And instead, you took it from them. You took it from them with a 4-0 lead. You get the home run from Otto Kemp. I mean, it is one of those things where it's like such an improbable night, an improbable group of guys that are doing this because Trey Turner being out, no Alec Boehm, and I know Boehm is not like, hey, you're missing that guy, but Boehm is a part of the lineup that, drives and runs. He's the productive guy. And then, you're getting a night where Luzardo looks like he doesn't have it, and then he settles in. What did he retire, like 15 straight guys at some point to kind of end that thing out?
I think 8 of the last 9 batters struck out for the Mets.
Crazy. It was one of those nights that you look back on, and it makes you have discussion, right? It makes you have discussion. I've got 2 poll questions up I want to get everybody's answers on at Mike Gill Show. All right, number 1. What's the postseason rotation? Now you saw another game. You got to see Luzardo pitch last night. You got Sanchez, Suarez, Nola, Luzardo. Now Walker Buehler's throwing tonight.
I can't wait for that start tonight.
You're excited about this.
I am. Now he got his first one of his first pitches in the minors for Lehigh was a homer.
Yeah, give him a homer.
I didn't like that.
No.
But he did settle in.
Did you see the reporter who asked him a question yesterday? And he had the microphone too close to his face, and he said, can you move that back out of my face a little bit?
Something about Philadelphia, they will love the honesty of Walker Buehler.
Well, he's pitching that against Michael Lorenzen, by the way, who famously threw a no-hitter at Citizens Bank Park in his first start. And Walker Buehler topped Michael Lorenzen's outing against Michael Lorenzen.
Right.
What are the chances of all that happening? But you look at the game last night, you saw Ranger pitch. We know Christopher Sanchez will get the ball in a game 1 situation. But are you going with Luzardo in game 2? Are you going with Suarez in game 2? Are you going in Nola in game 2? And that's one of the questions we asked right now. You know what? I should have added a 4th option, Luzardo in game 2. That's my bad. I didn't do that. Blame me. Sanchez, Suarez, Nola, 25%.
Sanchez, Suarez, Nola. That's right.
Sanchez, Suarez, Luzardo, 60%. That's your 3 lefties. Sanchez, Nola, Suarez, break up the lefties. That is right now 15%. You could vote at Mike Gill Show.
Suarez is one of those pitchers, though. He's not your prototypical high-gas right-handed – I'm sorry, left-handed pitcher, right? Yeah. I mean, so if you start with Sanchez, you can throw Ranger in the middle of Sanchez and Luzardo and break it up that way.
It's one way to go about it. The other question we asked you at Mike Gill Show, you can go over and vote all throughout the show. What's going on?
Going to get a lot of those today.
I think so.
We should start a counter. A little coin jar, maybe.
It's good call out of you.
Yeah.
Just have she's not intern Gina anymore. She's real worker Gina.
Yeah, she
We
works
have
hard.
her
that Gina.
be the official counter back
Yes.
there.
I think that's 2 so far.
All right, that's a honk for the people that are listening on the radio. How many honks do we have today? If you're listening in this line of cars, like coming down the street at any point, just give us a little honk, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, here's the other question, and we'll see how you answer this. After sweeping the Mets, have the Phillies won you back? The answers are yes, no, never didn't believe. There was another honk.
3.
Count that?
I would say yes, they won me back.
They won you
how
back.
How can you not?
Were you out at any point?
I was out, yeah.
And now you're back.
And now I'm all the way back.
Is that a real fan?
Yes. A fickle fan, of course. Yes, I'm allowed to be like that.
That's a real fan. I'm
I can,
out, I'm
yes,
in,
I can
I'm back
boo
out.
you when you stink, and I can cheer you when you do good.
I love that type of fan. I mean, it is essentially how I get paid, is that kind of fan right there. I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, I'm back out again. You stink tonight, you're great today. That's basically
yes, you roll with the punches.
the epitome of the fan base, right? Right now, after sweeping the Mets, have the Phillies won you back? 48% say yes, the Phillies have won you back.
In just 4 games. I mean, this week started off kind of in panic mode.
It took these
with
4
Trey
games?
Turner. Yeah, well, no. It's been a body of work, though, really since the deadline, I would say. These guys are different right now.
I mean, literally, the one big thing that I find interesting about this team is – got that? What is that, 6?
Do you count 1 honk as a beep beep, or is it 2 honks as a beep beep?
No, a honk's 1. You do a 1, but
okay,
usually
so
you do it 2.
Yeah, because usually you do 2. Yeah.
Like if you're driving by and you're like, hey, I'm listening, I'm just acknowledging that I heard you say I'm going to honk.
A beep, beep.
Maybe you get a 2 beep, right?
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to have the Lombardi Trophy out here, and you can get your picture taken, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's something. But here's something that's different about this Phillies team. Is this year's team in the second half of the year has actually played some of their best baseball.
As opposed
to
last
year
right.
after the All-Star break, they had got off to such a good start in the first half of the year. Then they kind of were 500 the rest of the way. We kept saying this is pretty much a 500 team as they entered the playoffs. Now they are playing some of their best baseball as they're getting ready to go into the playoffs. So I guess one question is,
and the perfect guy for that, to prove your point, is Ranger Suarez. Remember last year he was kind of struggling entering the playoffs. He was kind of limping around. He was hurt.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Now he's pitching some of his best baseball.
Well, there's one big difference right now. But what is so different about this team from last year's team that's basically went into the playoffs at 500, and now this team is blistering hot, sweeping the Mets, 11 games up in the National League East. They've now widened the gap on the Dodgers. They're closing in on the best record in baseball behind the Brewers. What is different about this team than last year's team? And now there's one obvious difference. Two, really. Two obvious.
Less Nick Castellanos?
Well, that's a good point, too. But the obvious ones are what? Harrison Bader
Duran.
and Johan Duran.
Yeah.
2 guys that factored into the game all weekend long.
Both guys that were acquired by Dombrowski at the deadline from the same team.
Yeah, so if you're looking at Dombrowski and saying, hey, I had a problem with the offseason that you had, you didn't do what I wanted you to do, you basically are the reason why this team needed to make these trades that you made. See, I'm not that guy. You made moves in the offseason. He didn't do a good enough job with the bullpen, but they weren't dumb enough to realize that this bullpen was going to be the bullpen. Just because you didn't address the bullpen in February doesn't mean you're not allowed to say, hey, I know I need to address the bullpen. I don't like that way of thinking.
Well, the Alvarado thing was the curveball that everyone didn't expect.
That's true.
You don't know if Duran is here if Alvarado did not get 80 games.
This is true, but I tend to think that Duran would be here, but I could be wrong. I mean, true, absolutely. Did they think that? But, listen, you put the team together and you say, I want to evaluate what I have here, and then I will tinker this thing. Now, the one thing is, I never liked the Kepler deal. Still not hey, great deal on Kepler, but it's starting to work out. It took a while, but it's starting to work out. Other than that, they really have the same team. And it's why was last year's team putt down the stretch? And this team, there's still a couple weeks left in the season, but they are playing some good baseball where right now, at Mike Gill Show, 62% say that, that 48% say yes, the Phillies have won them back.
The Bader addition to me is the one that changed the game for this team. It's a different kind of a guy. Everyone compares him to Lenny Dykstra. I saw someone say he's like Aaron Rowand. He'll run into a fence for you. They needed a guy like that. They needed a spark plug. They needed a guy who just doesn't hit home runs, a guy who's just a scrapper, and he's changed it for me.
This guy has exceeded all and every expectation.
And on paper, everyone's like Harrison Bader at the trade deadline.
Doesn't do it for me, not enough.
Doesn't do it for me, right.
Well, and the theory was, right, last year you traded for Austin Hayes, and he was a guy that, okay, you traded for Austin Hayes, and you batted him ninth. And it was like, this team doesn't need a guy to hit ninth. You needed a guy to hit in the middle of your lineup. Well, then you traded for Harrison Bader, and the first night he's out there, he's hitting like 7th, 8th, 9th. He was like at the bottom of the order, and you're like, oh, here's another guy that you got. Yes, he's better than Rojas, but he's not really changing the dynamics of the lineup. Well, here we are a month later, and he has changed the dynamics of the lineup. There's no question about it. Now he's hitting leadoff for this team, but you can make an argument that he could hit 1, 2, any spot in the lineup. I mean, anywhere you put this guy right now, he would be making an impact, and it's kind of trickled down to everything because once you got Bader, the trickle-down effect from that has been I can now platoon Nick Castellanos.
Yeah.
It's something I really couldn't do before because I didn't have the pieces in place. Like, for instance, you were playing Rojas in center with Marsh. So neither one of those guys could really play every single day, so they were platooning. Then the other option, in left field was you had Max Kepler playing out there. Well, because of that, you had two guys playing center field, one guy playing left field, and then the next guy was playing right field. You didn't really have another left-handed bat to platoon with Castellanos. So, and I don't suggest that they would have done that because I think they wanted to let Nick play and kind of work his way out of this and become the Nick Castellanos that has helped this team at times and hurt this team at times. I mean, he has just been he is the the offensive version of Aaron Nola at times. He takes you on the Nola coaster, and
he'll give you 162 games like Nola will give you innings, but
he plays every day. He gets hot, then he gets cold. He's not great defensively. We know that. All of those stuff come into play. But once they got Bader and then he became this player, what it did was it allowed you to then move Marsh to play left field because you don't really need him to play center field because Bader can play every day. So now it makes Marsh go to left, which then allowed Kepler to switch over to right field.
His natural position.
Which he's better at. And then because he plays right, he's playing right field, you were able to have the conversation with Castellanos of like, hey, we want Max to get some at-bats still. You're really struggling. Now's the time we're going to start to platoon you. And listen, got to give Castellanos credit. He's come up big in this series. He had the only RBI in the game on Monday. He had the double in the game on Tuesday. So he has contributed in this role. The only thing that you're worried about with this whole situation is everybody going to buy into the role? And it seems like the answer to that is yes. So far, there's been no indications of a crack in the armor.
And Castellanos last night with the hustle to double, to leg out that double, that tells me that he's balled in.
You know what, though? Sometimes the platoon in this situation, it ends up working. Why? Because Castellanos, maybe in the back of his mind, feels like if I play well enough, I can earn more time. And it's not just a platoon. And I don't care. You're not getting out of this platoon. You're stuck in the platoon at this point if you're Nick Castellanos. But that being said, Castellanos might be saying, hey, let me just, if I start playing well, if I start producing, if I start driving in runs, then I can get a bigger role.
And he is. And again, last night, and it's not just Casty, though. Everyone's bought in. The entire team, I think, is bought in with what's happening right now.
Well, we played the audio from Kepler yesterday, and I thought he kind of really hit it. Yeah, we had to drop our egos at the door. Some of us thought that, our roles were bigger, and they're not. And it's about the bigger, greater good of this team. 609-403-0973. Stephen Marmora says, right now, this team is giving me serious 08 vibes.
Wow.
Great closer and a feeling of never being out of a game ever. Contributions from role players, solid pitching, and everyone picks each other up. I have a good feeling about this squad, Stephen Marmora. Are you getting 08 vibes from this team?
I mean, with Duran, it is nice. The game is really only 8 innings. I mean, I know there's a chance he'll blow a save for you, but when you only have to go 8 innings and you have Duran to close out the 9th, I mean, last night, those guys didn't know what to do. Alonso looked totally
And not only was it last night, it was who it was against last night.
Right. Soto, Alonso, Nimmo.
He got the 3 guys, especially Soto and Alonso. And Nimmo's been a pain in the rear end against this team. He got those 3 guys, and he dusted them all. Tom texts in. He says, ever since Duran came out for his first save and went through 3 batters and 6 pitches with all the lights and the music, this team has played more confidently. Yeah, the lights, the music, the whole show.
Yeah,
Would you pay
Fox
$15? Would you pay $15?
You know what? Maybe I would in the NLCS or something like that. But, Fox last night, they went to commercial. I didn't really care for that.
Fox did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we did not see
Well,
the
they're
Duran
not
entrance
playing
on TV.
along.
Well, why not?
They got bills to pay.
Well, they can pay him sometime else. I would have liked to seen it on the national TV broadcast.
My buddy was at the game last night, and he sends me the video. I said, is this video worth $15? He says, I'm tapping out. It is.
Oh, come on, man.
It's kind of like the Red Zone. You're going to watch the Red Zone 7 hours.
With 1 minute of commercials.
With 1 minute of commercials.
7 hours.
My buddy said, I had to do it. But you're a man of principle, and you will not give in.
To the Red Zone?
Yeah.
No, I will not do it.
You know why?
I'm standing up for the next generation.
Yeah, you know why? Because if it's 1 minute commercials, what's next? 2?
Exactly.
Then what's next? 4?
That's how taxes started.
That's
it was
right.
a little bit at a time, and now everyone's bitching about it.
609-403-0973. Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City is going to join us to talk about why is this Phillies team different than last year's team. Plus, if you want to come on out, get your picture taken with the Super Bowl trophy, you could do that. The Eagles were playing against a team that they won against to win the Super Bowl trophy, the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to break that down. We got the Outside View coming up at 3:30 today. Our old buddy Joe Valerio, Cup of Joe, is back at 3:30. The former Kansas City Chief offensive lineman who once caught a touchdown pass from Joe Montana will join us right here on the show today. John McMullen, Sal Paolantonio, just getting started. We are live at the 3rd anniversary of the Great Jersey Cow in Northfield. This was their first location. They also have places in Brigantine and Absecon. But today, you want to be in Northfield, where we are with the Lombardi Trophy. Plus, we got tickets to see Adam Sandler. That is at the Xfinity Mobile Arena, formerly known as the Wells Fargo Center, where the Flyers, they're practicing. They're getting ready.
I did see some
to get
tweets
back
about
on
that.
the ice.
Yep.
And did you see the Joel Embiid video?
No.
Oh, you got to look it up.
Is he on the court?
Yeah.
Is it like a Ben Simmons video?
Yeah, I mean, it's not him by himself. The team actually put the video out.
Oh, okay.
So watch the video and tell us if you're buying the video or not.
Have they signed Quentin Grimes yet?
Oh, come on.
I'm waiting on that news,
Go
man.
get some ice cream,
I've
would
been
you?
wait. I'm under strict orders to bring back ice cream.
Get a
tonight.
fluffer nutter.
Yes.
Get a fluffer nutter. That's the ice cream flavor for today. Actually, they got great flavors. They got all sorts of pumpkin lattes and pumpkin stuff if you want to get into the fall flavors. There are a plethora of flavors that we will highlight throughout today's show here on the Sports Bash Live at Jersey Cow in Northfield on 97.3 ESPN. All right, we're live today at Jersey Cal in Northfield. Happy birthday, Jersey Cal. 3 years old. We just had chocolate therapy and Bordeaux cherry chip. We have these little samples. If you go to our Twitter X account at 973 ESPN, you can see the samples. We'll put it up on our Instagram as well at 973 ESPN. You can stop by. The Lombardi Trophy is out here. Some people already coming by, getting the pictures with the trophy. Now, that Bordeaux cherry chip, I'm a big cherry fan,
Very
but the
good.
little chocolate chip flakes in it is just a nice touch.
Now, if you're a chocolate lover, you can come by and get the chocolate
If you
therapy.
told me I had to order one over the other, I would go with the chocolate therapy only because I love chocolate. I mean, it's a dark chocolate base with a brownie bite, chocolate chips, and fudge.
The fudge got me.
Oh, man. Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City is here. It's a sweep
Mets.
of the Mets. The Phillies, the division is over. That we know. It's an 11-game lead. But, Mike, what has changed with these two teams? What has changed with the Phillies since we saw them in Flushing 2 weeks ago?
The outfield. I mean, we've all seen it in the 2 weeks since then. It seems like Harrison Bader never makes an out. Nick Castellanos has become a platoon player and a successful platoon player. Max Kepler, a guy that everybody wanted to run out of town in April, is now hitting the ball over the fence. And Brandon Marsh, a guy who didn't have a hit in April, is all of a sudden playing great in left field and also being a threat at the plate. So, yeah, the Phillies are hot right now and playing as well as better than any team in baseball.
They are, and it's not only that, it's the pitching, too. Luzardo last night, I mean, he settles in. It's kind of the night though where he settled in, but we're complaining that Nola gets off to a slow start. But is that Luzardo right there, a guy that you say, hey, I'll ride with him?
Yeah, especially last night. And, what he did last night is what you have to do in the postseason. You cannot let some adversity knock you off your game. So I think the Mets scored 4 runs. The first 6 batters came to the plate, produced 4 runs, and then they didn't get a hit the rest of the night. And what Luzardo allowed the Phillies to do is sort of grind their way back into the game and eventually pass the Mets. That's the kind of start you need in the postseason. You're going to face good hitters. They're going to get to you at times, but you can't give in and let the game get away from you. And Luzardo did exactly that last night perfectly. He hung tough. He enabled the Phillies to come back. And I've never seen that, Mike. A guy gives up 4 runs in the first inning and then throws 7 perfect innings after that. I mean, that's pretty unusual.
Yeah, and the way he ended that game last night. I mean, you saw the fire, the strikeouts, the stuff. And, all it does, Mike, is continue to, I don't want to say cloud, but it makes the Phillies have a really tough decision on how they're going to stack these pitchers up the rest of the way, doesn't it?
Well, I think when you get to the postseason, the 3 lefties are going to start. I think they've proven themselves over the long haul. I know teams don't like to do that. Part of the advantage of being a left-handed pitcher is opposing hitters do not see left-handed pitches as often as they see right-handed pitches. So the lefties, because of their rarity, can almost surprise a hitter. And the more hitters see people throwing from that angle, the more comfortable they're going to get. That's why teams don't usually like to stack lefties in a row, but I don't see the Phillies having any other choice than to start Sanchez, Suarez, and Luzardo as their 3 main pitches in the division series.
All right, Mike, you wrote about it over at pressofatlanticcity.com, and everyone is on board. How this Bader acquisition and what he has given them, because they got a guy last year in Austin Hayes, and he didn't make the same impact, but how this acquisition has gotten everybody on board. Tell us a little bit about the story that you wrote about at pressofatlanticcity.com.
Yeah, it was basically about, Rob Thompson's decision to spread the playing time among the 4 outfielders, Bader, Marsh, Castellanos, and Kepler. And if you really look at it, Marsh is 90% regular now in left field. Bader is the everyday center fielder, and it's really just Castellanos and Kepler that are platooning in right field. And you're exactly right. They made the move last year. They got Austin Hayes. Everything that could have gone wrong with that Austin Hayes move went wrong, okay? Now, this year they get Harrison Bader. I've seen Harrison Bader play. I watched him play for the Cardinals. I watched him play for the Mets all of last year. I watched him play for the New York Yankees. Harrison Bader is in the midst of a career season. You look at his WAR, he hasn't come close to this sort of type of WAR rating except for his 2021 year in St. Louis when he won his Gold Glove. Everything that has gone wrong with the Austin Hayes move has gone right with the Harrison Bader move. It doesn't seem like he ever makes an out. Can he keep it up? We'll see. But so far, he's making Dave Dombrowski look like a genius. And I also think he's brought an energy, a swagger, a life to this team. You know, his saying, what a gift, an enjoyment. That came at the right time of the year and maybe pumped up this veteran club that needed a little infuse of energy to survive the daily grind of the rest of the season. So, yeah, there's no way you can argue against what Harrison Bader has done here.
Yeah, he is really. And then, I guess, Kepler said it the other night. He said, hey, had to check my ego at the door. Kepler sounds bought in. What's the read on Castellanos? Because he seemingly would be the last piece that you would say could cause a disruption if there would be any disruption.
Yeah, well, Nick hasn't talked about it recently. He did talk about it a couple of weeks ago and say that it was a difficult transition for him, which I can imagine it would be. You go from playing every day to now not playing every day. That is a huge transition. Let's think about all our own lives. What are you used to getting up and doing something and you're in a routine and you do it every day, 7 days a week. And now all of a sudden you're only doing it 3 to 4 days a week. It's understandable that it's an adjustment. I will say this. I think it's easier for all 4 guys to buy in on September 12th for a first place team that has a chance to win the World Series. If it was May 12th and the Phillies were struggling, then I think the buy-in, not so much. But I think the fact that it's towards the end of the season, all 4 are having success, the team is having success, the postseason is almost here. You can see that this team has a realistic chance at grabbing a World Series. I think it's easy to buy in now, which all 4 guys are doing. Back in May, June, if you're struggling, different story. But we're in September now. So I can see how all 4 can sort of check their egos at the door and say, hey, I want to do this and I want to win a World Series. And if I win a World Series, Max Kepler's a free agent next year. Castellanos enters the final year of his contract. Harrison Bader has a mutual option that he'll probably turn down. I mean, if they sacrifice now and win a World Series, they're probably going to get contracts that make them everyday players either here or someplace else next season.
All right, Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City, pressofac.com. Phillies sweep the Mets. Let me get your take, Mike, in your mind. How much having Duran has changed the complexion of basically everything for this team?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. First of all, it shortens the game, right? Perfect example last night. What's that game? 6-4, I think, going into the 9th inning. If they're bringing Ryan Kirkring or Matt Strahm or even David Robertson out of the pen to try to nail that game down, Jose Alvarado, who knows what happens. But you got Duran back there, and that more often than not, he's going to retire the side and get you out of that situation, especially with the way he's pitched lately. The Mets have been really the only team to kind of touch him up a little bit since he came to the Phillies, and he has mowed them down both on Monday night and last night. So he just shortens the game by those 3 innings. You're playing an 8-inning game. It takes pressure off everybody else. Again, you talk about the acquisition of Harrison Bader at the deadline. The Duran acquisition at the deadline, I don't know if any GM in baseball had a better trade deadline than Dave Dombrowski. And he made up for it because he probably didn't have as good an offseason as he would have liked to have had. But Dombrowski definitely made up for it at the trade deadline. Look at the Mets trade deadline. It's a disaster. How many games are Soto and Helsley going to blow?
What happened to Helsley? Wait, I'm glad you brought that up because there were some people that wanted Cedric Mullins and Ryan Helsley. They were possible trade options for the Phillies. What has happened to those 2 guys?
Absolutely. You look, Mike, imagine Cedric Mullins on the Phillies and Harrison Bader on the Mets, we're having a different conversation right now, probably.
And imagine Ryan Helsley closing
and
games out
Helsley
here
on the Phillies.
Oh,
We're having a different conversation.
terrible. You're absolutely right. And there was a lot of people that said, "Hey, go after Helsley." What has happened to him is unbelievable. I mean, Mullins, I wasn't a huge fan of, but he's been terrible there as well. But those decisions to make the two trades that they did as opposed to the two trades they could have made, we could look back on and say, really, that has changed things. Let's talk about tonight. Michael Lorenzen, who threw a no-hitter in his first start, he will be facing Walker Buehler tonight, who will make his first start. And I wonder, do the Phillies look at Walker Buehler as just, hey, we want to give some guys an extra day off, or are they hoping to catch a little lightning in the bottle? Because he said it yesterday, Mike. He said, my season was bleep last year until I got to the playoffs. This guy has been a big game pitcher. So are the Phillies watching him tonight hoping that he could be the Walker Buehler he was in the postseason?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're trying to do both things. I think they wanted to bring in a starter to make a start here to sort of give guys extra rest and kind of allow them to sort of recharge their batteries for the postseason. But I also think, like you said, they're looking for that right-handed pitcher. Remember at the time, Aaron Nola's still struggling. Now he goes out and pitches well against the Mets, but we'll see what he does this weekend against Kansas City. I think they're definitely looking to, maybe catch lightning in a bottle here. Remember, Walker Buehler, and I don't know how successful it's going to be, Mike, to be honest with you. He was terrible all last year with the Dodgers. He was terrible early in the playoffs with the Dodgers. He really clicked in against the Mets in the NLCS, and then he kind of rode that out through the World Series. And then he's been mediocre at best in Boston, and Boston, a team fighting for a playoff spot, elected to release him. So what does that tell you? But still, hey, it's a gamble. I can see why they did it. And, we just talked about Dombrowski. He's on a roll. Maybe this will come up 7 for him, too.
All right, Mike McGarry for the Press of Atlantic City, pressofac.com. Busy weekend for you. All the high school football. You got, obviously, the Phillies. You've got the Eagles this weekend playing the Chiefs, a Super Bowl rematch. You've got Cowboys and Giants to pay attention to. Holy mackerel. Happy hour Friday, Mike. We'll talk to you on Monday, pal.
All right, lots to discuss. Everybody enjoy the weekend. Best time of the year. We'll see you down the road. Thanks.
And we are at Jersey Cal. Have a nice. So everybody's out there texting in their happy hour Friday picks and give me some good ideas for the weekend. We are hanging out at Jersey Cal for their 3rd anniversary party. I like the fact that people in the middle of the day can come out and eat ice cream. Isn't that nice on a Friday? Just coming out, hanging out.
Beautiful thing about America.
Chocolate therapy. Bordeaux cherry chip. If you're asking me, I'm coming to Jersey Cal, what should I get? Now, if these are my only two options, I think I'm leaning chocolate therapy. But if you're a cherry guy, girl, person, that cherry chip with a chocolate chip in there is just nice.
I believe there's more options coming.
Well, the options are endless here, and that's what's so cool about it. It's options you're not getting anywhere else.
Nope.
They come up with unique flavors and options that you're just not getting at every other spot, and that's what makes this place as popular as it's become. More Sports Bash all the way. When we come back, you're going to hear from Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni. Dallas Goedert might not play, but if he's out, what's the plan? You'll hear what he had to say coming up next on the Sports Bash. All right, Happy Hour Friday, everybody. We're live at Jersey Cal. Now, it's not Happy Hour Friday with the Liquid Devil today. It is Jersey Cal ice cream, and we just had a plethora. They're having, like at a brewery, you get flights.
Yep.
We got flights of ice cream, and the flights they just brought us were unbelievable. That cookie is still in my head. Oh,
Pumpkin. They have pumpkin as
I'm
well.
going to go have some more. Why? You're going to hear from head coach Nick Sirianni, his meeting with the media today. And don't forget, listen for that sounder today. You have a chance to win Eagles-Giants tickets. Stop by Jersey Cal, by the way. We got tickets for Adam Sandler and the Lombardi Trophy. Here's head coach Nick Sirianni ahead of the Eagles and the Chiefs. There's Nick Sirianni, and you heard from him on the tight end position. It sounds like Dallas Goedert will not play in the game, and if he does not, it will be Grant Calcaterra. He says really excited about Kalen Granson, the things he can do, and we'll see how the Eagles, because last week, Goddard, 7 targets, 7 catches.
But what's
in
the
the
story
game.
with Dallas Goedert? His entire last, 4 years of his career. So.
Yeah, he seems like he misses 4 games every year.
Just misses practice, misses games every year, and maybe that's why he was on the block this summer.
Speaking of injuries, Xavier Worthy doubtful for the game for the Chiefs. We will get the full injury report, updates, and more. Football at 4 today with Adam Caplan here on the Sports Match. Plus, how about the game last night? Amazon Prime. Major injuries in the game. We'll talk more about that, all still to come. Coming up on the other side, John McMullen with the latest on the Eagles and all of the news and notes surrounding this game. We'll get that update. Plus, we'll go outside view. Kansas City. We'll talk to former Chief Joe Valerio coming up on the Sports Bash.
There's another one.
That is our contest sounder. That was a horn honking to say hello. We're at Jersey Cal. But right now I need caller 7 at 609-573-3776. 609-573-3776. Caller number 7 right now. This will get you entered to win tickets to see the Eagles-Giants Thursday night game at MetLife Stadium. 2 tickets to the game, transportation to and from the game, and a full tailgate party with a bus full of Eagles fans. I got an Eagles stat for the game today regarding the fans, but you're going to go with a bus full of fans to MetLife Stadium. You must be present to win on Wednesday, September 24th at Maynard's in Margate. Caller 7 right now. You have a shot to get on that bus with all the Eagles fans. Good luck. All right, we're live at Jersey Cal. We're having a good time. It's hour 2, Sports Bash. You know, I'm amazed at the amount of people who are out eating ice cream at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but I'm all for it. We just had, what was the name of that ice cream?
Ube. Ube. U-B-E.
That is, when you're looking at our social media stuff, the ube is the purple, and it was really, 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 really good. It has, I'm trying to pinpoint the flavor that I have in my mind.
It's kind of like vanilla-ish.
Yeah, but with like a something. Can't pinpoint it yet. All right, McMullen's up at finishing up at NovaCare. He's going to join us now on the Sports Bash. John McMullen, this would be one of your favorite shows. We are at Jersey Cal Ice Cream in Northfield, and they're having
still time, McMullen.
Instead of flights of beers, we have flights of ice cream.
Come on down, Johnny Mac.
This is the place to be, man.
Well, there's plenty of people coming down because I'm in the car on 42 up in South Jersey. So plenty of people are coming down. So be prepared. The weather's still nice.
Yes, beautiful day, and there's time for everybody to stop out at Jersey Cal today. But the Eagles-Chiefs, I mean, I don't know. Do you feel that this game swept under the rug, a little under the radar? The Eagles season not where it normally feels? How do you feel about these two teams meeting so early in the season and the kind of attention it's getting or not getting?
Well, I mean, from my perspective, I think it's getting more attention than probably it should because it's, you know, the Super Bowl rematch effect. And that's a big deal. That's always played up, even though you have tremendous turnover with both teams. So obviously there's a lot of guys who played in February who aren't playing in week 2. But anytime you have the last year's Super Bowl matchup, it always gets a lot of attention from the NFL's perspective. And, you know, I don't think the Chiefs are that good. I've been honest about that. So I don't know if the Eagles' performance back in February kind of broke me on the Chiefs, but you add in the injuries the injury to Xavier Worthy and the suspension of Rashee Rice, they don't have a lot of weapons. And you saw their first game against the Chargers in Brazil. It was, you know, a couple manufactured plays from Patrick Mahomes, so you still have to worry about that. But just really a slog for them to run a traditional offense because they lack playmakers.
I'm going to say this version of the Chiefs that we will see on Sunday. Do you think that they are a better, upgraded version from the one that lost in February, or is this a lesser version of that team?
No, I definitely think it's a lesser version of that team, and you know, maybe it'll get better. You know, amazingly, Worthy was able to get back to practice at least on a limited basis yesterday. I don't know yet if he practiced today, but I find it very hard he's going to play with that kind of shoulder injury. And then, you know, maybe when Rashee Rice comes back after the suspension, they get a little bit more from a big play threat ability. So maybe it's the opposite of last season where they kept winning games, but they were all close, and maybe there's a little bit of randomness to it that you can't keep up long term. Maybe this time they struggle a little bit and then get better as the season goes on. I think that's the hope for Kansas City.
John, in the game last year, we all know it was a absolute domination up front, right? There was a lot of domination by the Eagles. What do we got going on here? There's like a traffic jam.
Yeah, those don't count, by the way, for the honks.
The honks
I think
we're counting honks today. We know the Eagles got 6 sacks in the game, 42 dropbacks. They did not blitz in the game. Can they follow that script with this current defense?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's a reason Zadarius Smith is here, and I think you're going to see plenty of Zadarius Smith in obvious passing situations.
This week?
You know, this week. I think he's going to be thrown right out there. Because if you think about it, I mean, that's a position where, yeah, you do have to learn some stuff when it comes to the base defense and that kind of stuff, but you know, in obvious passing situations, when it's pin your ears back, just go get the quarterback. You know, Zadarius Smith could do that in his sleep. So I think you're going to see plenty of him, and the fact that they brought him in tells you all you need to know. I mean, you and I have talked about this edge rushing group since early in the process, and it didn't look good enough on paper. It isn't good enough on paper. Maybe now it is with Zadarius Smith, and everything kind of falls into place. But it's 33. Now, he did have 9 sacks last year. He's been very consistently productive over his career. But if even the 2024 Zadarius Smith shows up, that's your best edge rusher. Let's be honest.
So, best edge rusher meaning eventually gets more snaps than Jalix Hunt. Is that fair to say, or is that what they're working towards?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I don't think it'll happen this week because he just got here. But, yeah, I expect that to be the case. Still a meaningful rotation. Jalix is going to play a lot, and that's probably better suited for his role, what it should be. I think a lot of people were skipping steps with Jalix Hunt. You know, we tell the story all the time. He was a safety at Cornell a couple of years ago. And, you know, plays 200-300 snaps and plays okay when he's forced in action. All of a sudden, people think he's a starting edge rusher. Well, that's a big leap. And I think the Eagles signaled that by bringing in Zadarius Smith.
This is obviously the story of the week was the fact that Adoree Jackson, he's going to play. Is this a week that you think he will, you know, kind of rebound, or, you know, hey, no, the Chiefs can target him and have success?
Well, I think, you know, part of it is they'll certainly target him. There's no question about that. I mean, when your other options are Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, I mean, Dory's going to see a lot of traffic, no matter who the opponent is. But, yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't think Kansas City is equipped to take advantage of it like maybe Dallas was, and that may surprise some people because the assumption is Kansas City's better than Dallas. Well, they're not better at Dallas. They're not better than Dallas at wide receiver, not even close. So I think partially it's just the opponent. It's a little bit of an easier week to get through it from a coverage perspective. And I think it'll look better. It might not necessarily be better, but I think it'll look better.
John McMullen, Birch 365, Sports Illustrated, Eagles and Chiefs this weekend. Looking a lot at the Eagle defense. They dominated the game in the Super Bowl. I mean, they absolutely pulverized and overwhelmed that offense there. And obviously, on the other side of the ball, they scored a bunch of points there, too. Will they have a harder time this time around? I don't know. Let's not say, hey, they're going to score 40, but should they be able to move the ball and have and put some points on the board against this Chiefs team?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, you know, obviously Steve Spagnuolo is not going to come in with the same game plan. It didn't work. So we'll see what he does and how he adjusts. Obviously, the goal was to stop Saquon Barkley, which they did. But, you know, look at what that cost them. And obviously he's got to have a more layered approach, understanding that the Eagles have other great playmakers. I think they'll do that. So, yeah, and plus, you know, I think the complementary nature of football, the defense really set the tone in that Super Bowl win. And it was mainly the defensive front. And, you know, Josh Sweat's not there. Milton Williams isn't there. So completely different environment. Obviously, you're also playing at Arrowhead, which is a very difficult place to play for opponents. So I expect it to be more of a game, but I do think Kansas City will have a different approach defensively, because why would you bring the same approach after what happened the first time?
Where's a spot when you're watching this game, you know, getting ready and preparing to practice this week that you would say this might be a problem for Philadelphia? Because as you just said, it just doesn't seem that the Chiefs are nearly the same team. Philadelphia, I don't know if they're better than last year right now, at least on the defensive side of the ball. But where is there a spot that you're worried about?
Well, you're always worried about Patrick Mahomes. I call this a plaster game. That means you have to plaster the receivers for a lot longer than you typically do. I mean, if you look at their game against the Chargers, when they were in their regular offense, it was a slog, but he still has the ability to make something out of nothing when it goes off schedule. And you see that some of that chemistry with Travis Kelce and blown coverages, and all of a sudden he's got a long touchdown. So I think from that perspective, the Eagles have to be very disciplined and make sure they plaster the receivers until that whistle is over, because he can extend plays and do all those magician-like things that he's famous for. And I think that's the biggest danger in this game.
Yeah, and the one thing is, John, we go back to what Dory Jackson real quick, is he could cover and play well, and there could be a breakdown, and Mahomes extends the play and gets you that way. So that's the one big thing, is that Patrick Mahomes can make you look like you could be doing your job, but he can make you look like you're not doing your job. I would agree with you. That's the one, those off-scheduled plays would probably be the one way. I just don't know that that's how you win an entire game.
No, that's the problem Kansas City has. You can't count on that, but it is something that, if you're able to keep it close, and you're able to shorten the game a little bit, and it's a one-score game, then all of a sudden he can make one of those plays and steal a win. And I think that's your biggest concern if you're the Philadelphia Eagles in this one.
All right, John McMullen's with us. We're looking at this Eagles and Chiefs game. Goddard will not, I don't know, most likely will not play. It looks like he's not going to play. They didn't come out and say that yet. The injury report probably about 45 minutes from now, but it seems likely he will not play. Does that, he had 7 catches, 7 targets. Obviously, Goddard, he's a weird part of this offense because he's really good, but they've won without him. Does that change this game in your mind at all, whether he plays or not? A major factor. I mean, it changes it, obviously, but is it a win and loss type of loss?
Well, I mean, last year it didn't matter who the Eagles had or didn't have; they would win games. Fred Johnson started 6 games because of injury and circumstance in Week 18. I believe they won 5 of them. So, I mean, it didn't matter. And once they took off after the 2-2 start, I mean, they won 16 and 17. They won 15 straight when Jalen started and finished. That's current, ongoing. So they, last year they were so good they won despite who was on the field. I don't think they're that team. Maybe they get back to that team, but they're certainly not that team right now. So, yeah, I think it could be impactful. There's a significant downgrade. You saw when Dallas was hurt last year and he came back for the playoffs, how good he was in the playoffs. Now, they were winning games, but they were a lot better in the playoffs when he was out there making those plays. And you saw it last week. I mean, it wasn't a high-volume passing game, as it normally isn't for the Eagles. But, A.J. had 1 target, which everybody talks about. Nobody's talked about the fact that Devontae only had 3 targets. And Dallas had 7 and caught all 7 balls. Again, they weren't throwing the ball downfield, so not eye-opening yardage or anything like that. But he was sort of the one guy that Jalen Hurts could count on in that game from a passing perspective. So, yeah, I think it's bigger than people realize. And the history is, again, maybe they persevere, but they have to play a little bit differently because Grant Calcaterra hasn't really put up big numbers in the situations prior, and obviously you have Colin Grant, and now Cam Lotto will probably be elevated from the practice squad. I mean, not a threat, I'll say that, the tight end position. If you saw last night with Kraft in Green Bay, it's not going to be like that.
Well, I want to flip it to the other side because their tight end is probably still their best weapon, even this version of Travis Kelce, which isn't a bad version. He's just an advanced age version. Do the Eagles match up well with him?
Well, you never. I think the problem, similar to what we said about Patrick Mahomes, is they have such a great chemistry. I think the problem is that, and Travis does a lot of freelancing, and he has for a long time, and it's typically something you don't want. But he and Mahomes have this sort of on-field chemistry that's very rare, and I think it's about more of that than. Yeah, I don't think it's not even think. He's not what he once was.
Right.
But he's still dangerous from that perspective. Just the chemistry he has with Patrick Mahomes. And obviously, with their wide receiver situation coming into this game, they're going to probably have to lean on him. So I don't think it scares you, but you always have to be aware of their ability to sort of go off script and play sandlot football. Which, again, might be the most dangerous aspect of this game.
Yeah, we'll see how it all unfolds. It is a 4:25 start. You can listen to the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. And, of course, the Eagles are it depends on what book you're using, but the Eagles were a slight favorite on the road in this game, which is a little bit of a surprise, right? I mean, are you surprised that they were the favorite at points so far this week?
Yeah, it started. I mean, depending, you're right. Some books have it one way, some have it the other. It's Kansas City started then after week one. I think the Eagles went up to 1.5 favorites. So I do think people are starting to figure out that this Kansas City team might be on the decline. But and then you factor the injuries into it as well.
Eagles are 1.5 favorites, by the way.
Yeah, on paper, it looks very difficult for the Chiefs offensively. There's just not a lot of playmakers with no Worthy and no Rice. And, you're talking about Juju Smith-Schuster. You're talking about Tyquan Thornton, Hollywood Brown. It's just and it was a slog for them last week, and I think that'll continue.
All right, John McMullen, everybody, Birds 365. By the way, the over-under for Saquon Barkley rushing yards, you can get 90 or more at plus 102 if you think he's going to go that route. If you want to get a little bigger value, you can go over 100 yards plus 157. So check out all of the props and stuff on your books there. And we're live at Jersey Cal. John, we're going back to the ice cream. Sorry, bud. We'll talk to you later.
All right, get some of the purple ice cream for me.
The purple ice cream. I just had the purple ice cream, actually. The ube, right?
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I've never seen ube ice cream.
I'll send you a picture. All right, I'll send it to your phone right now. All right.
All right.
See you, bud.
All right.
John
Thanks,
McMullen at JF McMullen. He wants the ube. Never seen purple ice cream. Well, they have it here at Jersey Cow, and I just actually had some, and you can have some too. I'll tell you what, we've had a lot of people come out here today, and even Dylan Shapiro, who's just having his birthday. He came out. He's having his birthday today.
Happy birthday,
He's having
Dylan.
ice cream, and he got the picture with the Super Bowl trophy for his birthday, and he's getting ice cream. Look at that. Hey, Dylan, happy birthday, buddy. Happy birthday.
Oh, he's a football player, too.
Look at that. He's
there
a football player.
That's
He's
what
got
I said.
a Phillies hat on,
I
too.
said every single high school
happy
football
birthday.
kid
What did you
should
get
be here
there?
tonight.
What kind of flavor is that?
Soft serve.
Chocolate soft serve. Maybe you go that direction. You getting that for your daughter?
I will be on the couch tonight if I don't bring back chocolate ice cream.
Oh. Happy birthday, Dylan. How old are you, man? 11. Well, happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday,
he got his
Dylan.
picture with the Lombardi trophy. He's got ice cream.
Phillies fan.
Oh, man, I like the hat. We like it all. Go Cardinals, right? Go Cardinals. All right, we got plenty more to go. Get the chocolate therapy. I recommend the chocolate therapy or the Bordeaux cherry chip.
You need some therapy.
Yeah, because I got to figure out which flavor I like the best now. We had the ube right here. We got so much more happening, including, what do we got now? Oh, boy. We're going to be trying this out at the break here.
Goodness gracious.
All right, when we come back, Joe Valerio played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he will be our outside view today. We're going to Kansas City. Coming up next on the Sports Bash, live at Jersey Cal in Northfield for their 3rd birthday party, just like Dylan's birthday. Happy birthday. Jersey, Cal. Happy birthday, Dylan. All right, back live at Jersey Cal in Northfield. Now, every break, we just keep getting all sorts of ice cream.
There's
and
some waffle
waffles.
contraption here.
That was very good. It's like a Filipino motif there of taste and
It just doesn't stop.
just.
It's going to be 4 straight hours of just cream.
I think if you're going to stop by and have a little ice cream, you should ask for the waffle. Put the ice cream on top
That's
of the
really
waffle.
that's
right?
how you got to do it. Yeah.
Now, my girlfriend stopped by. She got the pineapple coconut. Now, I've had that before. That is like a you feel like we go to Clearwater every year, and when you get that first ice cream down there, you always get the pineapple or when we were away in Prague, the mango ice cream. That mango ice cream, but that's that. It's very light.
Well, that's
It's
like European ice cream. There's a difference, right?
It's like a gelada, yeah. But that we had the mango over there, and we were on the eternal search over there for the mango. But the pineapple coconut is like that similar, where it's like that light feel to it. We're looking forward to the rest of the day. You can stop on out. We got the Lombardi trophies here. You can get your picture. And we got tickets to Adam Sandler. If you want to go see Adam Sandler perform at the Xfinity Mobile Arena, which was the Wells Fargo Center, you can sign up for those. They're at the table right behind me here. And, hey, don't forget, it's the 3rd birthday party, the anniversary, all weekend long. They're going to have all sorts of stuff happening all weekend, too, so you can come out and check out Jersey Cal. You guys know where it is in Northfield if you're in the Northfield area. They also have one in Brigantine. That's right next to Ernest & Sons. My guy Mel over there at Ernest & Sons. And then right next door is the Jersey Cal. And then the new one is in Absecon. So if you're in one of those 3 areas, you can stop by. But we're in Northfield today, and we're having a good time with that. We're going to be talking Eagles and Chiefs with former Chief Joe Valerio in just a second. You guys remember Joe. We did the Cup of Joe segment a couple of years ago on the show. Joe and I have kept in touch over the years. And, I think this is the 5th straight year that the Eagles and Chiefs have ended up playing. They played in 2022, which was the Eagles, Jalen Hurts' first year as the starter. Mm-hmm. And that was a game that, the Eagles were just not in the same league as the Chiefs that year. And obviously the Eagles ended up making the playoffs, but that was kind of like the first introduction to them.
And now both teams have beaten each other in the Super Bowl, which is wild.
Well, I was going to say, from that point where the Chiefs were clearly the better team, then they played in the Super Bowl the next year, and they were close, and the Chiefs kind of beat them. Then the year after, the Eagles had that weird wart, and the Chiefs won the Super Bowl again.
Sean Desai years that year?
That year with Desai and Patricia. And then when last year the Eagles kind of surpassed them, and you wonder if they surpassed them so much that, as John said, he said, I just don't think they're very good. If the Eagles beat the Chiefs here, they'll be 0-2. The last time they did not make the playoffs was 2014. They started 0-2 that year. This is kind of like a game that could potentially be the one that knocks the Chiefs it's like the Back to the Future, the alternate 1985.
Yeah.
Like you knock them into an alternate 1985, right? You beat this Chiefs team and knock them into an alternate 1985 and just kind of change the complexity of the history of football.
It's a weird year for Kansas City, right? Because you still have Mahomes, you still have Reed, you still have Spags, but then you have some guys like Kelsey who's obviously transitioning to outside football.
Well, let's find out more about Kelsey and the Chiefs and Mahomes and all things Eagles-Chiefs right now. It's a Cup of Joe. Joe Valerio, former Chief, famously caught a touchdown pass from Joe Montana, and he joins us right now. Back on the Sports Bash for another Eagles game. I think this is the 5th straight year these two teams have played, man. It's becoming, an annual event to talk to you, Joe. What's happening, buddy?
Mike, it is great to be back with you, sharing a little afternoon caffeine for the Friday, getting ready for, you got college football, pro football, the Phillies are in swing, no pun intended. What a great time to be alive, right, for in sports. Great stuff.
We're out on location today at a place called Jersey Cal. It's an ice cream place. They're having their third. Now it's packed here. We got the Lombardi Trophy. People are getting their pictures. They keep bringing us flights of ice cream. Every break, we're getting a flight. It's magic here.
Where's
And
my
it's Eagles
invite?
Chiefs this weekend.
I need ice cream. I need
You're
ice
on the show. You're on the show. You're on the show. Yeah. Listen, they played in the Super Bowl last year,
Yeah.
Joe. I want to get your first take on this. The team that lost in the Super Bowl last year, Kansas City, how is this team in week 2 compared to the team that we saw obviously not compete very well in that game in February?
Mike, unfortunately for Chiefs fans, it's not very different. And it's almost like a mirror image of it. You've got tumult on the offensive line. You've got a receiving core that in week 2 is already decimated, right? So you've got in week 2, you've got a wide receiving core that has a suspended player who was going to be their star receiver. That was going to be Patrick's biggest target. And you've got an injured, speedster in Xavier Worthy. So they are coming into this game much like they came into the Super Bowl. Their offensive line is still trying to figure it out, right? They got a new left tackle, a new left guard, mixing it up in there. You got a right tackle who's still really jumpy and can't seem to get the snap count down. So it's actually the same team on offense, even with the same circumstances, and on defense, unfortunately for the Chiefs fans, they're even younger than they were. Their defensive backs are young. They've lost some seniority there, and I think this team is if the Eagles play calling gets back to where it needs to be, which I think has been, in watching that first game was probably their biggest issue. If they get the play calls right, I think this game could look a lot like the Super Bowl for Birds fans.
Well, that's interesting to hear because you just talked about it. Joe Thuney was the tackle. He had a rough night. 2 guys that had a big game, Sweat and Milton Williams, they're not here anymore. So people are kind of wondering if, they can duplicate that. Jalen Carter, obviously what happened last week, he will play in the game. So that should help their pass rush, Joe, because they could not get to Dak last week. They did not sack him in the game. But it'll be interesting to see if they can do that. But I guess the question would be, what kind of weapons does Kansas City have to break the Eagles' defense? That seems to be the big question here is what is kind of left over for Mahomes here with the guys not being there that you mentioned?
Barring what you said, Mike, about, the Eagles maybe missing their outside pass rush, like I said, the Chiefs haven't really done anything to enhance Patrick Mahomes. And I'm going to give the Eagles listeners and Eagles fans a little bit of insight into what the Chargers-Chiefs game was like if you didn't get a chance to see it. I mean, I know most people probably watched it knowing the Eagles and Chiefs were playing this next week and that it was on Friday night. It was in Brazil. Like, who doesn't want to watch that game, right? It's on Friday Night Football and blah, blah, blah. If you watch that game critically as a fan, the Kansas City Chiefs were playing football in a basketball court, and the Chargers were playing on a field that was twice the size of a soccer field. That's what it looked like. The Chiefs, everything was compact and tight, and Patrick was getting skittish in the pocket. Oh, look at the ice cream coming to Mike. Look at that.
Look at that.
Delicious.
Right there. There's some ice cream.
Delicious. But the Chiefs were like, Patrick was trying to take the entire team on his shoulders. They didn't use Isaiah Pacheco the way that they should have. Patrick was the leading rusher, as was Jalen in defense of the Chiefs and the Eagles. Like, you have your 2 quarterbacks coming into a game as the leading rushers in the game. Like, what's that all about? So the Chiefs really haven't changed a whole lot, Mike. And I think, if the Eagles get that pass rush together, was what happened to the Chiefs is, so they lost Joe Thuney, who was probably, if I would say, a top 5 offensive guard. They lost him to free agency. And, so they moved Kingsley Suamatea, who was kind of a little bit of a bust at tackle. They moved him into guard. He's struggling. They went out and found Josh Simmons, who was an injured draft pick, who I think might be the steal of the draft, to be honest. And they put him at left tackle. Coming out of Ohio State, he was probably a top 10, maybe a top 5 pick if he hadn't had that torn patella. So he's playing at a high level. He's very athletic. So I think they're okay at left tackle. They're struggling at left guard. And then at right tackle, Juwan Taylor still continues to get these like weird offside penalties because he's jumpy. Yeah. And it drives everybody on the team nuts. So again, Mike, to just reiterate, this Chiefs team is coming into the Eagles game exactly as they left the Super Bowl on offense.
Well, it's funny because the Eagles are New at both Jalix Hunt is a completely different player. He did play in the Super Bowl last year, but now he's taking the Josh Sweat snaps. Milton Williams is no longer here, so we'll see how that matchup all unfolds. But a big matchup that we did see in the game last year was the Chiefs' defense against Saquon Barkley, and their game plan was to bottle him up. Is that the same game plan? Do you have to try to recreate that, or how do you handle this offense if you're the Chiefs?
Yeah, what Coach Spagnuolo tried to do in that game, and what he did actually, he executed on was stopping Saquon. But what they failed to do in that game was contain Jalen, right? So they weren't ready for what Jalen could do with his feet and in the pocket. So the key for the Chiefs and what they have to do in this game is, number one, first and foremost, stop Saquon. Because if he can chew up chunk yardage and do the things that Saquon Barkley is capable of doing, then it could be a really long night for Kansas City. So that's got to be Steve Spagnuolo's number one, and it will be his number one priority. The number two priority is mush rushing and containing Jalen. Jalen's one of those quarterbacks where if you told me I'd be happy if the Chiefs didn't sack Jalen Hurts in the game, I would actually be happy. I don't want them to sack Jalen Hurts. What I want them to do is force Jalen Hurts to use his arm, because, look, we all know Jalen is still developing as a true quarterback. I love the guy. I think he's tops. But at the same time, as an objective football commentator, he has to continue to develop that in the pocket. Dan Marino, I'm going old school here, Dan Marino, John Elway, Joe Montana type pocket presence, which he's getting better at. So what the Chiefs didn't do in the Super Bowl, they didn't contain him, and they let him make plays, getting outside the pocket and doing things, with his feet and also his arm. So they've got to mush rush him, they've got to spy him, they've got to do something at the same time stopping Saquon Barkley. That's why it's such a tall order stopping this team, right? And that's what Spagnuolo's going to have to do.
No doubt. And obviously last year they had their troubles in the Super Bowl. They just could not get stops. The whole thing snowballed away from them. But, I want to get – you've been around this team. You played for this team. They've had this run. The last time they were 0-2, 2014, they did not make the playoffs. I don't know. Did it feel entering this year that this could be the start of the decline, or is that too far-fetched? What was and is the vibe around the Kansas City Chiefs coming off of that Super Bowl loss?
Well, I think what fans were looking for was possibly a little bit of a bigger move in free agency. They really didn't do a whole lot, to be honest, Mike, in free agency. They didn't go after that receiver that is Calvin Johnson, Terrell Owens, pick your, Justin Jefferson type receiver. And without a Tyree Hill, the speed guy to really open the field up for Patrick, it's hard for him to do things. And what we're seeing on this team is a lack of ability to go out and get a really, really impact player, right? Like, look what the Packers did. Look how it's changed with getting Micah Parsons. My God, they looked incredible last night, right? He could that guy takes a defense from, a number 28 defense in the world. He can move a team up 10 spots on rankings, just him alone. And so the Chiefs didn't do that. They didn't go out and get somebody who's going to up their game 10 spots on both sides of the ball. So they're playing this run it back type of philosophy, and it's quite frankly, it's looking as if the team is kind of on the decline from that perspective, because wow. Patrick is literally taking the entire team on his shoulders.
I'll tell you, Joe, it feels a lot like we were having this discussion at breakfast this morning. It feels a lot like the Eagles with McNabb, where they had Pinkston and Thrash and Chad Lewis, who was like, a good receiving tight end, but to be your main target. And that's not to say Kelsey's obviously way better than Chad Lewis ever was, but, he's getting older, and it just feels like Mahomes is running around with Pinkston and Thrash and just like trying to run around and extend plays to make a play. And it's a weird thing to see. When the Patriots thing ended, it was because Brady left. It doesn't – I don't know, does it feel like the Chiefs thing is ending with Andy and Patrick still there? Like, that's why I think people are still like, it's still the Chiefs.
It's still the Chiefs. Look, it's Andy's going to come up with some plays. He's creative. He finds a way to manipulate his roster into the playbook, and then to manipulate the playbook into the roster talent. But at the same time, Mike, they just don't have somebody that is that ultimate threat. Like, I'm watching this Ravens team. What a shootout that was with the Bills. Holy cow. Like, the Chiefs are going to have their hands full playing those two teams in the first 9 weeks, right? This Chiefs team, I expected them to beat the Chargers. I really did. And even though the Chargers have made vast improvements this year, and I think they're one of the top improvement teams in the AFC along with the Broncos, I still expected the Chiefs to win. But I was still looking at this first 9 games, 8 games for the Chiefs. If they could come out 5-3, I would have been happy, knowing that they have to play. Well, we'll see what happens with the Lions, but they didn't look that great. But preseason, before watching anybody play, I'm watching this Chiefs roster or schedule: Lions, Eagles, Ravens, Bills. Like, holy smokes! Like, what an incredible first couple of games or several games this team has to play, and they just don't have, like, you watch the magic of what Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are doing right now. Who do you stop? The Eagles.
Yeah.
Who do you stop? Right, AJ Brown. Right, you got Jalen Hurts making things happen. Devonta Smith, one of the best. Right, Dallas Goedert, one of the top 10 tight ends in the league. Like, they are doing things on offense to continue to get better. The Chiefs just kind of stayed the same. And look, I love him. He's a local guy, Rutgers, Isaiah Pacheco, love him to death. He runs like he hates the ground. But he's not Derrick Henry. He's not Saquon Barkley. He's not anybody that teams like defensive coordinators are biting their nails about. So, Mike, it could be the slide that this
Wow.
team is looking at.
This is a eulogy, it sounds like, on the day where we're eating ice cream.
Right? Oh my God! Let's get a little peppier here. But you got to be realistic about these things, and this game will be telling, right? It's at Arrowhead. The Eagles are coming in as a road favorite, which is very unusual for this Chiefs team to be playing somebody at Arrowhead and being an underdog, which is probably, I don't have the stats on it, but it can't have happened more than a handful of times in the last 5 years.
I actually did have the stats on that. I'll have to find it, but it is not often. Right. It has not happened often for this group of guys. Joe Valerio, everybody, Believe in Chiefs podcast. You can check that out on all podcasting platforms. They do a great job talking Chiefs, and if you want to get more outside view perspective on this game, check that out. And, of course, he joined us right here on the Sports Bash Live to give us a little insight on the Kansas City Chiefs. That's today's outside view. Joe, great to see you, buddy.
Good to be with you, buddy. Enjoy that ice cream.
Back to the ice cream. All right, Joe Valerio, everybody. Former Chief, and, of course, right here on the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN. Our outside view today is brought to you by the Boardwalk Honda. Shop their pre-owned Hondas online at boardwalkhonda.com. We are live at Jersey Cal in Northfield. A lot of people popping out today having ice cream on this Happy Hour Friday. What are you having on a Happy Hour Friday? Well, we're having the unsportsmanlike moment of the day, and it's coming up next with Evan, Michelle, and Canty. You'll see what they had from this Friday morning show. We'll debate it. We'll talk about it next on the Sports Bash.
let's not jump out of the window and judge the Commanders or the Lions based on what we saw from them against the Packers. I just think the Packers are such a good football team. There is no weakness. They traded Kenny Clark. We thought their run defense was going to take a hit. Nah, dog. You're talking about a team that ran the ball for over 200 yards in week one, getting shut down last night, rushing it for 60.
That was Chris Canty this morning. It's our unsportsmanlike moment of the day. He brings to light the Green Bay Packers last night. They dominated the game. Now, the score might not look dominated, but if you watch it, Washington got a late touchdown, and, it made it look a little closer. But they got outclassed. They got out everything last night. Did you take more that Washington isn't as good or that Green Bay is a lot better than we thought?
That's really a tough question in week 2, right? I mean, at what point, what do you say, like week 6 or 7, that this is who you are, right? I mean, it is only week 2, but Green Bay looked great last week. They beat a playoff team last week. They beat a playoff team this week from last year, of course. So I would say Green Bay looks pretty good to me.
Josh, your takeaway is Washington not as good as we thought, that they get outclassed, or did Green Bay improve way more than we thought?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that it was obvious at times that Washington's defense was ill-prepared to handle the Packers. But other points, I think we got to give credit that Micah Parsons trade probably made a larger impact than some people realize, because when you put that kind of pass rusher on a team like the Packers, already had a solid defense with a good coordinator, you're recalibrating everything.
And it gives the guys, it just rejuvenates the guys.
Well, listen, yeah, you get a little shot in the arm. But I will say 2 things from last night. One, Washington looked old. They looked a little old and a little slow. They lost Eckler.
I mean, they have a second-year quarterback, too.
Well, he looked like he was running for his life.
Yeah.
And the defense looked old. Now, they're the oldest team, or the second oldest team in the league, right? They're one of the oldest teams in the league.
Yeah, they're one of the oldest rosters, yep.
That was right there with the Eagles. Well, they went to the NFC Championship. I wouldn't say they were right there with the Eagles. They got their ass kicked. But
that tells you a lot, that this team played in the NFC title game last year.
And they tried to, I think, close the gap by getting veteran players and saying, like, let's get guys.
Like Lattimore.
And then those guys get
worked.
old.
Lattimore got
and
worked.
Right, and there's that fine line between helping a team with experience and being too old. And now I can't help you anymore. That was a weird game last night, and that's our unsportsmanlike moment of the day. It's brought to you by Whitehorse RV. Of course, every day you can listen to Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6 a.m. right here on 97.3 ESPN. And the Unsportsmanlike moment of the day brought to you by Whitehorse RV Center. Your RV adventure starts here. Real quick, the Phillies lineup dropped, and the Phillies lineup every day on the Sports Bash is brought to you by Instant Services, South Jersey's premier HVAC, plumbing, and electrical service provider. Go to instantservices.com to learn about the preventative maintenance membership and how you can keep your systems running strong year-round. It's Bader, Schwarber, Harper. Marsh is in the 4-hole today. Jeez, I don't think I saw that coming. Otto Kemp is hitting 5.
Let's go.
Max Kepler is hitting 6 today. Edmundo Sosa is hitting 7th. Bryson Stott is hitting 8th. And Rafael Marchand is catching.
Let's go. Marchand on a Friday night. Let's go,
with
man.
Walker,
yeah, Buehler on the mound.
So Buehler will make the start tonight for the Phillies, and he will be wearing the City Connects.
Oh, yeah, City Connect with Marchand out there.
Well,
let's go.
The lineup is almost like they're just like, you know what? What could go wrong for us tonight? Let's just keep trying things. We'll put Marsh in the 4-hole. Let's put Kemp in the 5.
We just swept the Mets out of town. Let's go.
Otto Kemp is hitting number 5. Wow, what a world we're living in right now. Hey, we're living in a world where we have ice cream. We just had the mango. This mango is
water ice.
I just remember I was talking about mango, and then the guy whips up the mango and brings it over here.
Well, he said he wants to lighten things up. We went heavy cream to start the show. Now he's going to lighten it up with the water ice.
All right, football at 4, Adam Caplan. Who's in, who's out on the Eagles injury report? That's next. But first, all right, 609-573-3776. 609-573-3776. Caller number 7, get in right now And if you are caller 7, you have a chance to win Eagles-Giants tickets at MetLife Stadium. Eagles-Giants, MetLife Stadium, Thursday Night Football. Pair of tickets, transportation to and from the game. Bus full of Eagles fans. You're going to be on the bus with all Eagles fans and a big, big tailgate party. DJ, drinks, food. The food menu is out of this world, but you must be present to win the tickets at Maynard's in Margate on Wednesday, September 24th. We will be live, and one lucky winner at random will be drawn, and they are going to see the Eagles-Giants Thursday Night Football game at MetLife Stadium. Caller 7, 609-573-3776. Football at 4 is next. And Football at 4 is powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. It is brought to you by the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. And the Eagles have just dropped their official injury report for the game on Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. And on that injury report, Adam Caplan, Dallas Goedert has been ruled out of the game. Will Shipley, Cam Williams, questionable for Tanner McKee, but obviously the big one there is Dallas Goedert. It was trending in that direction all week long. We did see some big injury news with the Chiefs as well, but the Dallas Goedert injury, I guess we'll start there because obviously 7 catches last week on 7 targets. He's a blocker. And I don't know if all positions on the field, the drop-off from Goedert to Calcaterra, where that stands. They did win without Goedert last year, but I guess no surprise that he's out, but now they got to play without Goedert in week 2. Right. Right, and that's a big thing. He did start last week, wasn't able to finish. He missed the final 11 snaps of the game. Real quick on Goedert, how much does that change the passing game for them? I mean, because obviously Calcaterra is a good receiver, but Goedert did catch 7 balls. Now, every year it's like, oh, how do they get Goedert more involved? How do you get him more involved? He had 7 catches. So how do you see that changing the passing game? They are the favorite in this game, too, and one of the reasons they are the favorite is, obviously some talent issues on not only Kansas City talent issues, but some injury issues over there. They got some problems along with suspension problems. So 2 big weapons for them, most likely not going to play in the game. Yeah, we'll see, too. Last year, 6 sacks in the game. 4.5 of them came from guys who aren't here anymore. So how does Jalix Hunt and obviously losing Milton Williams, Mario Jomo, and getting Jalen Carter back, how that will affect the pass game here, right? But can they get to Mahomes without blitzing? That was the story of the Super Bowl. Well, last year, before we look at the game from last night real quick, last year this game plan for Steve Spagnuolo was not let Saquon Barkley beat him. He didn't, but they still gave up a 40-burger. I wonder what kind of defense they map out for this offense. Obviously, we'll find out on Sunday at 4:25 right here on 97.3 ESPN. But last night we saw 2 NFC contenders, and I want to get your thoughts on that because they not only lost the game, Washington, but they might have lost a little credibility, and they lost some key talent. Major injuries. Eckler looks like a torn right Achilles, obviously. And this is a team that, got older, right? I mean, that kind of got lost in the sauce of, hey, they went to the NFC Championship game. That was a great story. And then to try to close the gap, they went out and got older, and they looked like a older team last night. Yeah, and on the other side, Green Bay, who, everybody's going to be hyped about them now because of the Parsons trade. But it's obvious that this is a team that, went to the playoffs, had a lot of expectations. The Eagles beat them, but they are improved.
You add Parsons now. He was impactful last night. Washington's offensive line, which had a good week one, not very good this game. They struggled, and Jordan Love, very efficient, made some really good throws downfield. They're loaded with pass targets. Unfortunately, Jaden Reed, their number 3 receiver, broke his collarbone, so he's going to be out for a couple months. That's a big one, but they're very deep at receiver. They're really well coached. They're what we call the regular season champions of the NFC, and then what happens once Matt LaFleur gets to the playoffs, they really struggle for whatever reason.
All right, there's a look at last night's Thursday night game, football at 4. Adam Caplan from the Inside the Birds podcast, InsideTheBirds.com, which you can get on all podcasting platforms, getting you ready for the Eagles and the Chiefs. And obviously, the Eagles here, they would go to 2-0 with the win. That would drop the Chiefs to 0-2. And I will tell you, we did our outside view with Joe Valerio, former Chief, and he did admit it feels like this Chiefs team is starting to crack a little bit, and they are regressing. Is that the feel around the league?
Yep, it is, Mike. When folks look at this team, it's a good team. Don't get me wrong. They can still win the division. The Chargers, until the last week's game, the Chiefs has owned the Chargers, and the Chargers are very underrated under a great head coach Jim Harbaugh. But getting back to the Chiefs, it's their pass game which they struggle with. The running game was not good last week. Their defense is good, well-coached, great scheme. They didn't execute like Spags wanted them to. They're very vulnerable, Mike. They're just not the same team. I'm picking the Eagles, Mike, in this game. I am concerned about the Goddard absence. There's no question. But the thing is, Mike, this offensive line, they're prideful. They know they didn't play their best game last week. I expect them to handle it. Look, the Eagles are one of the best road teams in the National Football League under Sirianni. They've already won there. I'm expecting them to play much better this week. And then we'll see. I don't know if it'll be a shootout because the Chiefs, they're just not the same offense anymore.
Well, it all happens right here, Sunday, 4:25 on 97.3 ESPN. Mel Reese and Mike Quick on the call. He's Adam Caplan. This is Football at 4. Adam, we'll talk to you Tuesday, man.
Sounds good. Thanks.
There he is, Adam Caplan, everybody. Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast and brought to you by the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. We're going to be there on Monday. Now, today we're at Jersey Cal, right? We're out hanging out at Jersey Cal, which has been a blast. I mean, he's got all the it's cool that Mainland has a game tonight, and they're actually going to dedicate the field to Jack Thomas from Charlie's.
Congrats.
They're going to name the field the Mustang Corral at Jack Thomas Field, I believe, is going to be the name of it. So it's going to be a big night over at Mainland, right up the road from where we are. But you see all like the Northfield Cardinal jerseys out here, and now the Linwood Panther jerseys are coming out.
Oh, yeah, I see
it's like
it.
There's like, get out of here, Cardinals. The Panthers are coming.
But we can all unite over some cream.
But that's my point. But everybody comes to the Jersey Cal to get the ice cream. You have a favorite? You have a Mount Rushmore so far today?
You know what? That coffee.
Coffee.
Yes. Coffee's up there. The cherry, the first taste test that we had was the cherry, the Bordeaux cherry. Yep. I'm putting that up there.
That mango water ice was
mango
delectable.
water ice.
I mean, I'm an ice cream guy. Chocolate. We had the chocolate therapy. That mango was
I'm bringing that
phenomenal.
home. Chocolate therapy's coming home with me.
All right. We did talk a little bit about last night's game in which Green Bay, you looked at Jordan Love last night, and you say this is a guy who looked like he was now in his third year. He looked more calm. He looked more collective. He has more weapons. They got Golden out there. But, so many of, what they did last night. Is it a bad sign for the Commanders? This is what Harry Douglas said this morning on Get Up.
You got to give the Packers and their defense a lot of credit.
Right.
But I did not like how the wide receivers could not get open versus the secondary. And the front seven of the Green Bay Packers, they had a lot to say about that as well. But why are you going to Noah Brown majority of the times on third downs and not Terry McLaurin? Mm-hmm. Why on a 4th and 4 play are you going to Jalen Lane, who is a rookie wide receiver? Why is Terry McLaurin not in the ballgame? And it's not like Terry McLaurin, he was going to a lot in week 1. What is the discourse there right now? Are they trying to see if other guys can step up and make plays? Well, I'm not trying to see that if I just gave a person an extended contract.
So his question really is this a bad sign for the Commanders, or Did they just have a bad night?
It really was it was probably one of Jaden Daniels' worst nights as a pro, I would say.
Well,
I can't remember him being this bad last year.
And the thing that Harry Douglas said that stood out to me, guys, is he's saying, hey, how come Terry McLaurin's not a part of it? Now, he's on my fantasy team, so I'm asking the same
He's
question.
on mine as well.
And I'm saying, you just paid the guy.
Yeah.
You just paid him. Why is he not a bigger part of your offense? Was that, I don't know. I said, funny because Josh showed me a trade offer in his fantasy league, and I guess Terry McLaurin was a part of it, to which Josh, I guess his point was the trade offer was terrible, and I didn't agree with him. And my reasoning was.
For those who don't know, the guys who were listening to my, they were asking me to ask you this question, Mike. Okay.
All right.
So the trade was actually Debo.
Samuel.
He scored last night.
Yeah. So the idea was that I already had Terry McLaurin. My working theory, which apparently is wrong so far, is that the McLaurin's going to be the number one receiver. So I wanted to trade the other guy because I'm not a fan of having two guys of the same team on.
Which is fair.
So I looked at Matthew Golden. I thought maybe he's going to evolve into the number one receiver. And, of course, after Jalen Reed got injured last night, Golden had no catches by the end of the night. So the trade was Debo and the Vikings defense.
That's not the trade you showed me.
Oh, no, that's a completely different trade.
Yeah, that's the trade I'm talking about. Because the point was McLaurin, I said, I don't think it was a bad trade offer because guys that sit out and are do all that, sometimes like they get hurt, something like for whatever reason, guy holds out and it doesn't seem to go well for him.
The trade you're talking about was trading McLaurin and David Njoku for Mark Andrews, Jacoby Myers, and Chris Olave.
Yeah, right. And you said you thought the trade was terrible. The trade offer
for both sides, really. I mean,
but I said nobody was getting ripped off.
No, it's just not very good players. I mean, Mark Andrews.
Well, I mean, McLaurin. You're hoping that's the whole point. Is you're hoping. I think Josh is in his mind is saying McLaurin is the best player in that deal, which I would agree with.
Right.
Yes.
But my point is, you could make the trade offer in thinking that the other person would say McLaurin, coming off of holding out and not going to camp and being older, by the way, could end up getting hurt or something to that effect, and it could scare somebody into saying, you know what, I don't want this guy because he went through. Now, last night you're watching him play.
That's like Olave could get hurt, any game.
Olave, though, was only in his, third year? Fourth year?
Third year,
yeah. Yeah. And he was pretty good as a rookie. But McLaurin last night he did have 9 targets, but he only had 5 catches for 48 yards. And that was my wonder the whole night, is he unable to get the separation? Because with Debo, you were thinking that Debo, now some people thought Debo was injury prone, he's kind of washed, yada, yada. I mean, Debo last night had 7 catches for 44 yards. He did have the touchdown. He had 8 targets.
2 straight weeks of touchdowns, by the way.
I watched that game, and my big takeaway was I thought Cliff Kingsbury doesn't do as much as he can with what he has.
I mean, there were some head-scratching things last night from him. The end of the half clock management was awful.
Well, that's what you get from a guy who coached in college.
They missed a couple field goals. But maybe Jaden Daniels, his Super Bowl window isn't here yet. Maybe it's 5 years. 5 years from now.
We all saw C.J. Stroud as a rookie, and then we saw last year he took the step backwards a little bit,
exactly.
Based on other things like the offensive line's not as good. And I thought the offensive line had
and that's okay. That's okay, by the way, that the roster's not there yet with Daniels.
See the ice cream?
I do.
Oreo
cookies and cream. That's my sweet spot.
Wow.
I'm going to put that on the Mount
Stopped
Rushmore.
him in his tracks, by the way. Now, that's the thing, though, is Washington, their offensive line looked like they had – now, Micah Parsons, guess what? Micah Parsons is going to play in a playoff game against you. You have to be able to beat that team. Now, here's the question for you guys.
And he played, I think, almost 50 snaps last night, so he's back.
Here's a question, both of you. Who were you hoping won that game last night if you're an Eagles fan? Washington in the NFC East competing with you, or Green Bay, possible number 1 seed? Both possible number 1 seeds, obviously, but which way were you going?
Packers.
I'm going, I needed Packers to win.
I want to win this division.
Loss.
To me, the division is almost a guarantee that you have a shot at the 1 seed. You're not getting the 1 seed if you don't win the division.
Obviously, that's mathematically impossible. But I was going the other way around. I was hoping Washington won that game last
Really?
night. Yeah, because I think Green Bay's the better team, and I think I can beat Washington.
You beat Green Bay
And if
last
I beat
year.
Washington to win the division, the next thing is, can I beat Green Bay to get the number 1 seed? And Green Bay winning that game last night.
And you do play Green Bay this year. You go
Look at Green
Lambeau.
Bay's schedule. They're going to be 8-0 by the time they get to Philadelphia. 8 or 9-0, whatever it is. Find me a loss on Green Bay's schedule. Can you do it? Real
I will
quick.
try.
Bring that up. See if you find a loss before the Eagle game.
Cleveland,
That's
Dallas,
a win.
Bengals,
That's-
Cardinals, Steelers, Carolina.
It's pretty presumptuous saying to beat the Bengals.
That's the only game on that. Dallas, I mean, I guess. Look, I'm just saying.
And again, we'll see where Pittsburgh is though in what week 7.
I said
that'll
up
be?
before the Eagles.
Right. That's
are
what
talking
before
about
the
before
Birds.
the Eagles.
He didn't say Steelers. He said Panthers.
At Pittsburgh on Sunday night.
Okay. But there's a good shot they're going to be favored in every one of those games.
Favored, yes, I agree with that.
Yes. All right. We're at Jersey Cow.
They have their weaknesses.
They brought more
though.
ice
They have
cream
their
out, okay?
weaknesses. They have cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream
Yeah,
and
nobody.
strawberry.
Mike doesn't care about the show anymore, Pete. It's about the ice cream. So we got to
What
get a
about
break.
strawberry cookies and cream? Can you mix them?
I said
Can you
this is the
morph 'em?
best remote I've ever done. I think it's yours. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, hey, I'm here all the time anyway. I live up the street. More sports bash coming up when we come back. Oh, it's Nick's Nuggets. Nuggets is missing the ice cream. Nuggets is missing the ice cream.
I could go over some nuggets and cream. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, coming up, Nick's Nuggets on the way, plus Sal Paolantonio tonight at 5 o'clock. And we will have today's Friday 5 in the 5 o'clock hour. Hang out with us. Sports Bash live at Jersey Cow in Northfield, 97.3 ESPN. All right, on a Friday, we're live at Jersey Cal. Now, in that break there, we just got a chance to do your favorite, the Oreo.
The American classic, man. You can't go wrong with just straight up cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream, ice cream.
With Oreos, by the way.
Now, yeah, strawberry, and I was mixing the cookies and cream with the strawberry.
Yep. How was that?
You got to try that strawberry, dude. You like strawberry ice cream? You're not a strawberry ice cream guy?
I'm not really a strawberry guy.
Oh, man, it's
I
on
could
enough.
do a strawberry milkshake.
That's a good one. Well, it's a milkshake now.
Soup. Yeah,
Well, it's a
strawberry
little
soup.
hot out here.
Yeah.
Nuggets is missing this today. Nuggets is missing
Nuggets,
the ice
man.
cream,
I'm
man.
surprised in you, disappointed you're not here.
Right. I mean, this is a day we're out at Jersey Cal for their 3rd anniversary. Every break, they've brought us flights of ice cream, and it's a different. It's like having an IPA flight, but with ice cream.
Smorgasbord, yeah.
Unbelievable.
I'll be honest, I am missing out. I'm so jealous right now of you guys. I see you guys getting all these different flavors, getting to taste test all of them throughout the show. And then I see intern Gina. She's on the Instagram story. She's trying out different flavors. I am so jealous. It looks like so much fun. I love ice cream. You got mint chocolate chip over there. Do you have milkshakes out there? What else we got over there? I was looking at the menu earlier.
I see a kid drinking a milkshake, right now.
Yeah, I mean, the flavors that he has brought out to us. I mean, and that's the thing about Jersey Cal. It's not just the regular. It's every flavor imaginable that they've created. This ube was purple ice cream. And it's like, I can't even describe the flavor. He said it's like from the Philippines. It's like phenomenal. They had this cookie batter with the Bischoff cookie in the ice cream.
You're killing me. You're killing me right now. I heard PG earlier say it's the best remote he's ever done. I'm very jealous of PG that he's out there getting free ice cream all day. I mean, come on. How great of a producing job is he at today?
Sorry, we're not at a wing joint.
Just so the people know, Earnshaw was called to see if he wanted to work today's event. He declined. He said,
"Oh, so I was the second."
No. It was going to be both of you.
Okay.
And he declined. He said, "I'm going to do a remote at an ice cream." That's what he said.
That's a load of baloney right there. That's a load of baloney.
You like strawberry ice cream?
Yeah, I would do strawberry ice cream. Big milkshake strawberry ice cream guy though.
Well,
if you go milkshake,
strawberry milkshake formulating behind us right now.
Yeah.
Soup.
Well, I ate the strawberry because I like strawberry ice cream, but I'm trying to save,
I'm a big mint chocolate
to
chip
save
guy.
A little space.
Yeah, I'm a big mint chocolate chip guy. That's one of my flavors that's my go-to right there. Or chocolate milkshake. Those are my go-tos. I really don't expand from that palate, but Jersey Cal has me wanting to get down there and expand the palate a little bit.
We had the chocolate therapy.
What does that entail?
Chocolate ice cream, a chocolate brownie with chocolate syrup.
Oh, you're killing me. Oh, PG.
If I was standing in line and I had to order, and you said tomorrow is your death, you get one more ice cream for the rest of your life. That chocolate therapy, maybe. I'm a chocolate ice cream. I'm a sucker for the chocolate. Like if I'm going to an ice cream place, I'm not wasting my time with vanilla.
No, I go milkshake. Milkshake or mint chocolate chip. That's the go-to right there. That's the way.
I'm trying to talk him into chocolate peanut butter banana as a new flavor.
That's a crazy one. That's an out there one. That's a lot going on. That's a lot going on with that flavor. But PG might have the greatest job in the world today. I mean, producing, sitting out there. He's got the sunglasses on. He's having a vibe. He's a whole vibe out there right now.
Hey, man, I tell you, this is America right here.
Friday,
happy hour. You skip work and you just come out here and have some ice cream.
Yeah,
it's awesome. I love it. All right, let's get into the Nuggets. Back on the Nuggets today.
By the way, the Nuggets are brought to you by The Hub, gear that works as hard as you do.
All right, so let's get into them real quick. Phillies, they sweep the Mets. Oh, how much a difference 2 weeks makes. All right, Phil's magic number to win the NL East is 5 at the moment. The New York Mets are now 11 games out of the NL East. They have put them away, out of their misery. Just get it over with, Phils. Get this 5 games out of the way. Get this magic number down to 1, and let's get it rolling because the Mets, they could also be out of the wild card chase right now. They're only up a game and a half right this minute in the wild card. They're the 3rd wild card spot right now. They are going to take on the Texas Rangers, start a series with them, and the Texas Rangers are also making a push in the AL wild card. So Texas could get themselves into the playoff mix as well as knocking the Mets out of the playoff mix. Man, how much has changed in just 2 weeks? Because the way the Phillies play at Citi Field, It didn't make you feel so good. After this week, you feel a lot better, to say the least.
It's crazy how much 2 weeks is made. Now, I did say, when you were there, I think you were attached. I said on Twitter X, I said, get back to me in 2 weeks. All these people were complaining. They got swept, boo-hoo. I said, get back to me in 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, they're up 11 games. That's baseball, man. It's sports. It's not just baseball. Baseball is a big one, but it's sports. It's the ups and the downs. They're long seasons. We act like these guys, because they're professionals, are supposed to be dialed in to the highest level on every single game, on every single night. Now, is it frustrating and perplexing and confounding at times?
When you get swept at Citi Field and you can't win a game there, that's very
and you're trying to find answers. Why? Why can't I beat this team? Why did I lose? Well, for those 3 days, I just didn't play all that well. Is it because they maybe not play well, or do we just not play well? Well, people were like, they just can't beat them there. Well, then they played them here and they kicked the crap out of them. So is it just there? Who knows? But obviously the Phillies are better than the Mets are. I mean, there's a better team than the Mets are. Now, they could play in the playoffs and the Mets could beat them. Who's playing better baseball on that day at that time? That's what it means. The Braves were 14 games better than the Phillies for 2 years in a row and then beat them in the playoffs. I mean, so it happens. That's sports. That's the way things go. And sometimes you play really good for a 3-week stretch, and then you don't play so good for a 2-week stretch. And then you play good for 3 days and not good for 1, then good for 4, then not good for 6. And at the end of the day, you're going to win probably 95 games. You're pretty good. But throughout the year, there are stretches where you're like, why? Why can't you beat that team? Or why did that happen? Well, right now the Phillies are in one of those moments where they're playing really well, and the Mets are not.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the way they beat them this series and the fact they came back after being down 4-0 last night was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And the fact that they don't have Trey Turner, Alec Boehm's hurt, Zach Wheeler's hurt. I mean, they're missing a big chunk of this team, the important key guys, and they go out and sweep the Mets this time around without some of those key guys, those key figures, the Boehms, the Turners of the world. And you're able to have guys like Bader step up. Castellanos even had some big hits in this series as well. So when you have all those guys playing together, that gives you a lot of confidence. However, this is still the Phillies. We've seen them like we saw them against the Mets in New York. They go cold at times. They have those stretches, and it's a long season, but they have to get hot at the right time. You hope this carries into October. This is the way they need to play heading into October. That's what you need out of this franchise. Because if they play like this in October without some of their key guys, there's a really good shot they can go deep in the postseason.
By the way, just brought another flight of ice cream.
Yeah, I saw. I see. I'm doing a diatribe over here. If you're watching on the X YouTube channel, and he's just worried about ice cream over
Phillies, and it's just very distracting.
What do you got? Banana over here? Banana.
Oh, the best
the
remote.
Nana.
Oh,
the nutty nana.
You gotta be kidding me.
Earnshaw, you're gonna have to repeat everything you just said.
No,
Yeah.
I heard it. I will say this, and listen, there are times, I coach a baseball team, and there are times where we're playing really well, and you're like, we're going to win. We know we're going to win. We feel like we're going to win. And then you play the game, and you're like, we can't get a hit. This is just not how we envision the game. That's sports. That's just what it is. Everybody thinks, because sports is one of those things where it's everybody that loves sports loves it. And when you love it to the degree that you do as a fan, you also feel that you have all the answers and know everything. Meaning, I know more than you do. And nobody knows bleep, right? We don't know anything. We're just fans, and we have passion, and we give educated guesses. That's all they are, is guesses.
Kind of like a weatherman or weatherwoman.
Pretty much. But you know what? That's the cool thing about sports, is it constantly has you on your toes and debating and trying to figure out, why couldn't they hit tonight? Why couldn't they hit on this day right now after they just scored 19 runs yesterday? What happened? And we don't have the answers to those things. And right now, you could win 100 games and then not be able to win the most important games when it comes to the playoffs. And people were like, why? Why can I win 100 but not against a team that won 86 in the playoffs? And we don't have the answer to that question. So that's why, it's not – for what we do, it's not fun to tell people, just go along for the ride. No, we want you to be up and down and all around and irrational and say I'm on and I'm off. PG said he was out, now he's back in. And everybody does that. I'm out on this team. Nope, they drove me back in. No, I'm out. I'm not good. Nope, they brought me back in.
That's the passion, though, of a Philadelphia sports fan.
He got the purple ice cream.
I mean,
there's the purple ice cream.
You can be a St. Louis Cardinals fan all you want and just act like everything rainbow and butterflies, but
yeah. Well, listen, that's like the Eagles. You know, that you look at what the fact that I think they're 18-1 in their last or 17-1 in their last 18 games or something like that, and you're like, you know, what has changed for them that didn't go right for them the year before, where they just couldn't find a way to win. And now all of a sudden they've changed that whole thing over. Just sports. We don't have answers to. We still don't have an answer to what happened to them 2 years ago. No one's ever really come up with that. But, you know, right now the Phillies are fun. And the interesting part about this is, and I think, you know, if they end up losing at some point down the line, you're going to look back possibly and said, you know, they tried to do this without Zach Wheeler. Like, how many teams could lose their ace number one pitcher? And then I said to myself, you know what? A couple of years ago, the Braves won the World Series. They didn't have Acuna, right? So it's not always who has the best players. It's who's playing the best at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, look at the 2022 Phillies, right? They got hot at the right time. They limped into the playoffs that year, but then they made a World Series run. Same thing with the Diamondbacks the following year, who beat the Phillies, the 2019 Nationals. I mean, there's plenty of examples of the New York Giants back in 2007, right? They were a wild card team, beat the undefeated Patriots. So that is part of it. It's part of the roller coaster of a season throughout the year. I mean, that's just how it goes, right? So, listen,
talk
the
about
Phillies
this a
have been
lot.
up and down all year.
We talk about this a lot. All of the greatest Philadelphia sports seasons that we can virtually remember, all were seasons that we never saw coming. The Eagles winning their first Super Bowl with Nick Foles. The Phillies, if they win this World Series without Zach Wheeler, you know, all of these seasons that we loved and had so much fun with kind of came out of nowhere, and we all loved them because it took us on a ride we never expected.
Yeah, and listen, it's been a fun ride so far. Phillies are without Trey Turner, without Alec Boehm, Zach Wheeler, and they're playing really good baseball, some of the best baseball they've played throughout the year. All right, moving along. Another thing that's part of sports, Mike, is players leaving in free agency and players signing big contracts. And Kyle Schwarber had some interesting comments in the New York Post telling John Heyman of the Post saying, quote, if something works out here, it works out here. There's interest on both sides. I'm sure whenever we get to the end of the year, and hopefully it's us holding a trophy at the end, I'm sure there'll be conversations. Sometimes hopes and dreams don't turn out the way they're meant to be. And going along with that, Mike, ESPN put out an article today of some of the key free agents heading into the postseason, and they asked 20 experts around Major League Baseball about what they think Kyle Schwarber's contract will look like. Some were saying 3 years, some were saying 4 years. The average AAV between all those predictions was around $30 million per year for Kyle Schwarber. Is that something we see the Phillies going out and paying a Kyle Schwarber, win or lose the World Series this year?
I think I saw the three. It was all over the place. It was various numbers.
Yes.
I think a 3-year deal, I think the Phillies would do in a heartbeat. But does he think he can get a 5-year deal?
Yeah.
Does he think he can get that long-term deal? Does somebody say what the Phillies have done? Like with Trey Turner, and just say, hey, we're going to give you 8 years. Even though we know the back end of that deal is probably not going to go our way, we're willing to just do it just to get the instant excitement, the gratification in the moment. So I think the Phillies are going to be in a tough spot because I don't think it's a home run that it's not a one-team race for him, right? It's not a one-team race for him. I think he wants to come back and would love to come back, but I don't think he's going to shut out offers from other people.
Well, he is worth $30 million a year, right? We can all agree on that.
I would give him the
Today's
bank.
climate, sure.
Yeah. I would open up the checkbook for Kyle Schwarber in a heartbeat. And we heard the Bob Nightingale report the other week. Was that last weekend? I mean, the Phillies are going to open up the checkbook for him. So that's
really a John Middleton. That's really a John Middleton thing as opposed to a Dombrowski thing.
Yeah, when you get to that level, I think
Yeah.
John Middleton makes the decision of we are not letting this guy leave. Let's do whatever we have to, even if it means we have to give him X amount. I don't know. Do you give him less years and more money?
I
I'll
would
give you
think
3
so.
years for 125, and someone else might give you 8 years for,
Well, the part of this
do
is that
something.
this is probably what he wants to be his last contract. This is probably the contract he wants to end his career on. So does he want that extra year, that fourth, maybe that fifth year, so he knows he can play? Remember, he's playing DH too, so he also has that angle to go with the extra years, right? Hey, I'm not even playing the field. I'm only DH and I'm only hitting. I might be able to give you those extra 2 years instead of a 3-year deal.
Well, that's what Ruben Amaro was talking about. I think it was on Tuesday night after the game, because they were talking about it on the post-game live show, and they said, look, he said he would be more inclined to sign Schwarber over Ranger because Ranger hasn't shown that he can stay healthy, through a full season, whereas Schwarber not being on his legs as much, he feels like it could give him more time than if he was playing in the outfield.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how this all shakes out. All right, before I get out of here, final nugget. I don't know if you guys have seen this story, college football related. Okay, Temple is taking on, they're 2-0, by the way. Temple football under Casey Keeler has been really good this year to start 2-0. They take on Oklahoma coming into the link. By the way, they're even putting the Temple logo on the field, so you're not going to see the Faded Eagles logo for the most part. You're going to see some cherry and white on the field this week. So
somebody was thinking with their toes on that one.
Yeah.
Bordeaux cherry.
Oklahoma comes in. They're not even sending their pep band. The band is not going. St. Joe is going to be filling in for Oklahoma's band against Temple this week. It is the first time that the Oklahoma band has not traveled with the team ever. So they're mailing this one in, to say the least. They said it wasn't in the budget. I mean, give me a break.
Well, the NIL, yeah. I mean, that's where their budget's going.
Wait, so it wasn't in the budget to send the band, or was it because they think there's not going to be anybody in the stadium to play to? I saw this the other day that I saw. Wasn't there a hot mic that caught somebody that was saying the people in Philadelphia, the Temple fans, will not know what hit them when they see 25,000 Oklahoma Sooner fans show up to. You're going to have 25,000 potential Oklahoma fans filling up the link, and probably 2,500 Temple fans.
And St. Joe's band's going to be for Oklahoma. So then you have that aspect in there. So they're not even sending their own band. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They think they're mailing this one in.
Yeah, but why would Oklahoma put Temple on the schedule?
At Temple.
Yeah, why would they agree to this game?
It's an interesting
normally
one.
This is one of those games where Temple goes to Norman and they get paid $1.5
and
million
they lose by 60
to get. By the way, the spread's only 21.5.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not crazy.
Temple's 2-0 this year.
21.5.
New head coach.
Well, if I say Oklahoma's playing Temple in football, you would think that spread's 40.
Yeah. 21.5.
It's 21.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
No band either.
Temple?
No, I would take the Sooners.
Have you seen them play?
No.
Do I ride with a Temple upset this week? Is that what I have to do? Put a couple bucks on Temple?
Well, I mean,
they're going to wind up winning by 21.
There's going to be more Oklahoma fans at the game.
Yeah.
That's what the guy said. He said they expect 25,000 Oklahoma fans to show up to the game.
Yeah, and St. Joe's band will show up to the game instead of their own band. I mean, that's how much they care about this game.
Now, does Temple send a band?
Yeah, Temple will have their own band there. It's their home game, Oklahoma just said they're going to be at all the SEC games. They're not going to be at this one. So, I mean, what does that tell you?
Is Oklahoma they're in the SEC now.
Yeah, they're going to be at all the SEC road games. So,
yeah, weird.
Weird. All right, that's a nugget.
All right, well, what do we got behind us here? I got to get this Nutty Nana.
There he goes again with the ice cream, and I'm very jealous. Very jealous.
Well, we're here till 6, right? And everybody who's driving around right now, if you want to stop at Jersey Cal, we have the Lombardi Trophy out here, and we've got tickets to Adam Sandler. You want to sign up to go see Adam Sandler play. He's going to be at the Xfinity Mobile Arena doing his show. You can sign up to win those tickets. There's a little drop box behind us here. And then, of course, we got all the ice cream. We got all of the ice cream you ever want in your life. Ever. Nuggets.
That's awesome. Have fun, guys. Enjoy it.
Better luck next time, Earnshaw.
I know.
Just
I know.
work on that Super Bowl trip, all right?
I will.
All right, that's today's Nuggets. They're brought to you by the Hub, gear that works as hard as you do. Nick Earnshaw is back with the Nuggets on Monday's show here on the Sports Bash. All right, live here at Jersey Cal. We're celebrating their third birthday party. Happy birthday, Jersey Cal. All right, when we come back, 5 o'clock hour, Sal Paolantonio
let's get down to
joins
business
us.
here. Yep.
Little Sal Pal Friday for everybody is coming up next. But first, 609-573-3776, 609-573-3776. Caller number 7 right now, 609-573-3776. Caller number 7. I need you to get in because you have a chance now to go see the Eagles play the Giants on Thursday Night Football at MetLife Stadium. You must be present to win on Wednesday, September 24th at Maynard's in Margate, where one lucky listener, and it could be caller 7 right now, it could be you, will win 2 tickets to see the Eagles-Giants Thursday Night Football game. You will be on the bus with all Eagles fans, transportation to and from the game, and the biggest Eagles tailgate party that you're going to find. It's all brought to you by Maynard's in Margate. We'll be there Wednesday, September 24th. Caller 7. Good luck. Clock hour on a Friday. It's a happy hour Friday. We see the text messages coming in. 609-403-0973 on the text board. Congratulations to our qualifiers today. John in Cape May Courthouse. What was that, Josh? Jack in Egg Harbor City. All of our qualifiers are going to be live at Maynard's in Margate. You must be present to win. If you're not there, you're not going to see the Eagles-Giants. We'll have another chance for you to qualify this hour, at least one more chance. So keep it locked. It's Sal Pal Friday. Sal Paolantonio, ESPN's national correspondent, is joining us to break down maybe one of the more unique moments in football where the two teams that just played in the Super Bowl meet again this early in the season. And Sal, it was a bloodbath the last time these two teams met on the field. And you wonder how similar or how different these two teams will be when they meet on Sunday at 4:25 at Arrowhead Stadium.
Well, it's going to be one of the more watched football games in the history of regular season NFL football. I'll tell you that, Mike. Let's remind people that the score at Super Bowl 59 at one point was Eagles 27-0 over the Chiefs. And then it was 40-6. It was an absolute annihilation of a team that was looking for a three-peat in the Super Bowl. They just destroyed them in every aspect of the game, both offensively and defensively. And I want to remind people of this very, very interesting statistic that I got from the Eagles PR department, and I had to double check it because made sure I was right. The Eagles have won 15 straight games started and finished by Jalen Hurts. 15 in a row.
Jeez.
Just think about that. That's Lincoln Financial Field. That's on the road. That's in the Super Bowl. 15 straight games. So what is it about this game that possibly could tell you the Eagles will lose, that they will break this streak of 15 in a row? I don't see it, Mike. I see these teams basically as the same team, give or take a few distinct components, the same two teams that faced one another in Super Bowl 59. The Eagles have a superior offensive line, a better 1-2 punch in the running game. Their wide receivers are healthy. Yes, still missing Dallas Goedert. He was just proclaimed out for this football game with a knee injury. They have a better defensive line and pass rush. They have better linebackers. Notwithstanding the hole at left cornerback for the Eagles, overall, the Eagles' secondary is better. I don't understand why people would think the Eagles would lose this game. I really don't.
I'll tell you, that's a great point. And we were talking with former Chief Joe Valerio earlier, and he told us, he's like, listen, I got to admit it. It feels like maybe not the end, but certainly the step in the other direction for the Chiefs, where it's just not a fait accompli that they're the Chiefs. It's a Chiefs team that's definitely in decline right now, right? If it's not the Chiefs with Andy and Patrick, you probably look at this game and wonder, man, what kind of game is this? It's probably a Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia's a road favorite here as well, so it feels like the Chiefs are definitely taking a step back.
Well, I think that's a very general statement about the Chiefs. I think you have to look specifically at what their approach is right now. Patrick Mahomes II in Sao Paulo against the Chargers dropped back to pass 45 times. He had 39 pass attempts. He was also the leading rusher. There were only 10 running back carries, only 10 running back rushing attempts in that game. This is the old Andy Reid bugaboo, that he relies too much on his quarterback, that he doesn't have the wide receivers to pull that off, and he's not running the football. So that's what this team is right now. Patrick Mahomes II really is the entire team. And they have to figure out, Kansas City, how they're going to be able to run the ball on the Philadelphia Eagles, get those carries up. I mean, it really doesn't matter now in the National Football League, Mike, and I made this point to you last week on the show, on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, which I love being on Friday afternoons at 5 o'clock. Michael, last year there were 5 teams that had over 500 rushing attempts. The Eagles led the way, number 1 in the league. All 5 of those teams went to the playoffs. there were 4 more teams that had over 450, between 450 and 500 rushing attempts. They all went to the playoffs. It's a running back revolution in the league because defenses have become lighter and teams understand that you can dominate at the line of scrimmage. They're copying what the Eagles are doing. And the Chiefs have not caught up to that, Mike. They just have not. So you want to stay step back here, step back there.
Yeah.
Look at it very specifically. What are the Chiefs doing now that the rest of the league is doing? What are the Chiefs not doing that the rest of the league is doing? And they're not running the ball. They're not.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a great point. And Joe also brought up, he's like, Pacheco's a good guy. He runs hard, but he's not a Saquon Barkley. Your point is valid that the league emphasized. We saw it in free agency last year, Sal. Josh Jacobs got paid. Derrick Henry got paid. Saquon Barkley got paid. And look at the team's success that ended up with those players. And I said, this reminds me of the Andy Donovan era where you had Thrash and Pinkston, and you're asking Donovan to run around and make plays, and he just didn't have anybody. And when you look at this game on Sunday, you'll wonder which weapon Kansas City has that could beat you, and I don't know that he's out there.
Very much so reminds me of that Donovan era. That's what I was alluding to. And the reason why Andy has been able to get away with it, mixing and matching at the running back position, is because he had Mahomes and Kelsey, and he had Tyreek Hill, and he replaced Hill with Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown, and it hasn't been enough. It just was not enough. And he didn't pay attention to his offensive line as it got weaker and weaker. And, so people are generalizing about how the team is going downhill. Look at the specifics of what the rest of the NFL is doing. Look at Sean Payton. He's won a Super Bowl in New Orleans. He's rebuilding New Orleans. Denver. He goes back to the playoffs last year with Bo Nix. This year he drafts R.J. Harvey, and he's got a 2-back system. Now, they had 30 rushing attempts and won the football game last week. Indianapolis Colts with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones basically had Saquon Barkley last week.
Right.
He had 40 rushing attempts in that win over Miami. The Colts had 40 rushing attempts. He basically had Saquon. When Daniel Jones had a healthy Saquon, they went to the playoffs, a healthy running game. So it's not hard to figure this out. You look at Joe Flacco. He had a 290 yards passing, lost the game. That's the thing about Jalen Hurts. And Darius Butler said something really good on the NFL Matchup Show, which is on tomorrow morning, by the way, on ESPN 2. We just got done taping the show. He said that Jalen Hurts makes the right plays for his football team. And all you got to do is look at Jalen Hurts on third down against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sure you've seen these numbers, but I'm gonna repeat them one more time because third down is so important. Bill Parcells told me very, very early on, Mike, how does your quarterback perform on third down? Is he moving the sticks? How does your quarterback perform in the red zone? Is he getting in the end zone? That's the only thing that matters. So in the first 3 drives against Dallas, Jalen Hurts led touchdown drives with a new offensive coordinator, his 6th in his 6 years as a starter. On third down, on what we like to call on the matchup show, the money down, Jalen Hurts was 6 for 6 for 78 yards. He had 32 yards rushing. I was terrible at math, but 78 plus 32 is how much? It's a lot. It's over 100 yards.
Yes, it is.
And then he had also 1 rushing touchdown, all on the money down. He was money. And he completed 82.6% of his passes. Mike, I guarantee you, if me, you, and Josh went out in the parking lot right now, we would not complete 82% of our passes.
By the way, it's 110 yards rushing by those numbers there. Sal Paolantonio, I like to throw numbers at you. I've been trying to find something for you to chew on each Friday during Sal Pal Friday here. The Chiefs stacked. Stacked 7 defenders in the box on 38 of the 70 plays in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts was 8 of 10 for 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 156 quarterback rating when the Chiefs put 7 defenders in the box. You take away Barkley, and Hurts makes you pay.
Bingo. That's it.
And
Barkley makes the passing game go. The passing game makes Barkley go.
That's right.
Mike,
The
football's not that hard.
complimentary.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, the complimentary aspect of having Barkley, you want to take him away, and then Hurts being able to beat you if you want to take him away. And that was always the question. Can he beat you when you take him away? And he has shown time and time again, the third down numbers, you want to take Barkley away, I got you here. I could do it with my legs. That's the weapon right now that the league can't figure out.
They can't figure it out. And I don't understand why they chose that tactic. The previous Super Bowl where the Chiefs basically, rode Patrick Mahomes to victory over the Eagles in the second half, Jalen Hurts would have been the MVP of that game if the Eagles had won. And he did not have Saquon Barkley in that game. So Spagnuolo twice has been beaten by Jalen Hurts. Once by with Saquon Barkley and once without him.
Yeah.
It was only Patrick Mahomes that bailed him out in the second half of Super Bowl 57. So I don't understand why he took that approach. He got burned very badly. And I don't see anything different in this game. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to be a little bit more ready. It's at home. God forbid they go 0-2. Wouldn't it be something that the Giants lose to Dallas and the Chiefs lose to the Eagles? And I believe the Chiefs are at MetLife at the Giants next week, 0-2 teams. That sounds like a Sal Pal special right there on Sunday NFL Countdown, Mike.
And that
if the Eagles didn't have the Rams at home, I probably would cover that game.
And that's I believe that's the Monday night football game that week, actually. It would be the Chiefs and the Giants.
Man.
Yes, that is I think it's the Monday night. It's either the Sunday night or the Monday night. It's a primetime game, those two teams playing. But the last last time the Chiefs went 0-2 was 2014. It's the last time they didn't make the playoffs. The Eagles this weekend, Sal, have a chance to really put the crack in this armor that we haven't seen in over 10 years. So it's a big opportunity for Phil. And really, to kind of change the complexion of the story of the NFL of it's been the Chiefs era, it's now turning into the Eagles era. And they have to win this game to start that kind of change, right?
Yeah, what I said to Johnny G, the Griner team at Burger Realty in Ocean City, I said, Johnny G, and I think I might have said this on your show last week, Michael, we're in parallel dynasties right now, Chiefs and Eagles.
Yes, absolutely.
Because and so now it's are the Chiefs going to hold the Eagles off, or are the Eagles going to emerge as the new dynasty in this part of the millennium? And I'm impressed with the Packers. Don't get me wrong. How could you not be? But just look at what happened yesterday. The Washington Commanders lost Austin Eckler, who they were counting on after trading their other running back to San Francisco. He's out with an Achilles. Jaden Reed is gone, their best wide receiver in Green Bay for a number of games. So, the number one thing, obviously, is health. The Eagles were super healthy last year. We're very lucky when it came to health. They were the second healthiest team in the National Football League. And you're seeing Dallas, they get rid of Micah Parsons. The Packers, they get Micah Parsons, but they lose a main component of their passing game in Jaden Reed.
Yeah.
The Commanders, who were in the NFC Championship game, they lose Austin Eckler, and Jaden Daniels is coming back down to earth.
Sal Paolantonio is the voice you hear right here on a Sal Pal Friday. Johnny G, appreciate him as always. And, of course, the Chiefs have won 12 straight home games. But they're an underdog. This would be the 70th home start for Patrick Mahomes. It would only be the second time ever he has a home dog, and that's what could be happening here. But they have won 12 straight. If they were to make it 13, Sal, what happened? What is the key for a Chiefs surprise victory here?
Oh, the Eagles got sloppy with the football. That would be number one. Turnovers. I can't really think of a number two or a number three. Number one to me is it. If they turn the ball over, they lose the game. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. It seems that way, right? You're looking around and saying they don't have the big play weapon. They don't have the running game. What's their defense give up? A 40-burger the last time these two teams met. We'll see if they can clean the things up. But you're right. The only way, it's a self-inflicted wound, it feels like, in this game in Philadelphia, which is unbelievable. You're going on the road to Arrowhead playing the Chiefs, and you feel like the only way you can lose this game is if you beat yourself. That tells you where these two teams kind of stand on this Sunday's game at Arrowhead.
Well, Michael, you look at all the teams that were the so-called up-and-comers in the NFC, right? San Francisco's got injuries.
Yes.
The Los Angeles Rams have injuries on their offensive line. And Puka Nacua led all wide receivers with 130 yards receiving last Sunday, but Los Angeles only scored 14 points. And Detroit and Chicago. And you go down the list. The only two teams that controlled the line of scrimmage with superior line of scrimmage play was the Packers, Micah Parsons, thank you, Jerry Jones, and the Eagles with their superior offensive line play. And if the Eagles had Jalen Carter, I think they would have put 40 points up on Dallas. I think they would have beaten them by 20 points, but they didn't. And it's really important for Jalen Carter to go back out there and redeem themselves. By the way, I really, really like the way Nick Sirianni has handled this. And if you remember, I said last Friday I did not think that Jalen Carter should be suspended. I thought it was really important for the team to have conversations with him to educate him about what's at stake for him, his family, and his football team. And hopefully those conversations, which clearly took place, got Jalen Carter's attention. You heard Nick Sirianni say today that he implored Jalen Carter, this is the first time he actually talked about it, to embrace the adversity.
Yeah.
And so this is a message that he has carried with this team for 2 years now. He's tried to send this to every player on the team, and now he's given this message to Jalen Carter. Now, it's all how he harnesses that adversity, right, Michael?
Mm-hmm.
It could go bad real quick.
And
he's got to harness it properly.
Yeah, and this young man is playing for, you mentioned it, last week, which he's playing for his future, his family. He's playing for generations, his legacy, that next contract that, because he got fined $57,000, and some people kind of yawn at that. That's not enough. He's only making about $1 million this year, so you take $57,000 out of it. That's a nice chunk. But I think, we'll see how he.
Well, the point I was trying to make, Michael, is he's the best defensive tackle in the NFL. He's looking at a new contract of $100 million minimum. That's what these guys are getting now.
Yep.
The Eagles are either going to pay that, or somebody else is going to pay that, or if he gets himself into more trouble, nobody is going to pay that. And if he loses $100 million, which is generational wealth for the Carter family, that is his biggest punishment. No question.
By the way, the last thing we'll get Sal's opinion on here is 6 sacks on 42 dropbacks, no blitzes. No Sweat, no Milton Williams. They will have Carter. Can they get that kind of pressure with a similar game plan? No blitzes and still pressure him. This Chiefs offensive line, a little different, but a little shaky.
Well, watch the NFL matchup show tomorrow morning. Greg Cosell does a really good piece breaking down the Eagles' pass rush and the way they squeezed Patrick Mahomes from the outside and then came up the middle and made him, a sitting duck. I still think they can do that. I still think that they can definitely come up the middle with Davis and Ajomo and, of course, Carter. The question is, do they have the horses on the outside so that Mahomes doesn't escape and do those second reaction plays and throws that have made him famous? So that's the key to me is, when Mahomes is on the field, don't let him make those second plays with his legs where he buys time, obviously. But the number one key is don't turn the ball over. They were efficient against Dallas. And if they do that, they win the game. It's really simple math. It really is. And as you mentioned, if Spagnuolo sells out for Barkley, give him AJ. And I think this game, and, people have been back and forth about the whole AJ Brown thing last week. He had one target, not until the fourth quarter. Mike, he's $100 million wide receiver, $100 million. In the last 3 years, he leads the NFL in yards after the catch. Leads the NFL.
Yeah.
He is fourth in the NFL in receiving yards in the last 3 years. You got to find a way to get him the ball. I'm sorry. I understand the circumstances of the game dictated X, Y, and Z. But the circumstances of this game are feed that man the football early and often. To me, I think you throw the ball early, you get a lead, and you take away the running game completely from Kansas City and make them one-dimensional by having to come from behind.
Sal, great stuff today as always. By the way, we are doing a live remote today at a place called Jersey Cow. It's an ice cream shop here in Northfield, and the gentleman has brought us out flights of ice cream on every break. It's been the most unbelievable remote live that we could possibly have ever done. I don't know how much you like ice cream or ice cream fan, but this has been unbelievable. It's just, and there's a plethora of people here listening to every word you're saying. The speakers are on. Everybody's out here watching. A lot of Eagles fans. We're getting their picture taken. We have the Lombardi Trophy out here. People taking pictures. Just a great time to be an Eagles fan, celebrating with ice cream. It just feels good, doesn't it? It feels good to have football back.
Yeah, it's great, and I do love ice cream, so you'll have to treat me to some of that ice cream next time I'm down at the shore. I'm going to give you a score, and this is the score, if you remember, of the Super Bowl. I thought the Eagles would beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 59, 33-24. So I'm going to go with that score.
Got it.
Sunday in Kansas City. Eagles 33, Chiefs 24.
33-24. Okay, a little closer than maybe some people think. We'll see how it goes. A lot of points, 33-24. Eagles are a 1.5-point favorite right now in the game. Sal Paolantonio, a Sal Pal Friday. Hey, heard you on the Steeler jet call on the radio last week. Nice job there with Steve Levy.
Thank you, and I'll be on the call with Steve Levy. From Pittsburgh for Aaron Rodgers' debut.
Ooh.
Seahawks at Steelers this Sunday. Yes.
Good stuff. All right, Sal. We will catch up with you on next week's Sal Pal Friday. Thanks, man.
All right. Don't forget the matchup show, Michael. See you tomorrow.
All right.
See you
Sal Pal
week.
tomorrow morning on the matchup show. And by the way, you can listen to Steve Lee Antonio. That is the 1 o'clock game, and that will be on our sister station, Rock 104.1. So you can listen to that at 1 o'clock and then flip over for the Eagles and the Chiefs. That's the 4:25 game. Pre-game coverage starts at 3, and the kickoff at 4:25. Merrill Reese, Mike Quick. We're live at Jersey Cow. Now, they got pistachio ice cream here now. Pistachio.
Oh, it's fire.
Yeah. Now,
Here's
Gina
fire.
says it's fire.
It's fire.
She's on social media, Gina, today.
This was mint chocolate chip, and then that was that the Cookie Monster?
This thing was unbelievable. The Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster.
I told you need to try that.
I
left a bite for you. I've seen a lot of people ordering the ube, though. You see a lot of people getting the purple? Oh, man. What? What are you talking about? The girl's got it. She had 2 large scoops of it. Oh,
Blueberry
come on. And the other guy that walked up to me, he had 2 double scoops of the ube, purple ice cream. He said, I've never seen purple ice cream. I heard you talking about the purple ice cream. They got purple ice cream here. All right, stop by. We're here till 6. Coming up Friday 5. Now, all summer long, we did the Friday 5. And I picked 5 games that I thought would be the 5 games when we got to the week. Well, now we're going to match up my week 2 Friday 5 from the summer with my week 2 Friday 5 right now. Stick around. That's next. See how much they've changed already in just 1 week. 97.3 ESPN live at Jersey Cow in Northfield. We're live at Jersey Cal, and it's been a great time. We've got every different flavor you can think of. And by the way, for all the flavors that we've talked about, they've got way more than that. I mean, they gave us just like a sample of the samples, but they've got so many different flavors. Now,
that
what is
smell.
this? What is this? The coffee poured over the ice cream. It's like an espresso coffee over the ice cream. Now, it's supposed to wake you up there, Pete. Get the rest of the night going.
Affogato, yes. Affogato.
All right. So, oh, man, this smells like it's going to be good. I can tell by that. We're going to do the Friday Five, by the way, in just a second here on the Sports Bash Live. We're at Jersey Cal. People have been getting their picture taken. You know, it's like we just had Sal Paolantonio on. It's just like fun. Football's back. You got the trophy out. You're eating ice cream. Affogato over here. I just had pistachio ice cream. That Cookie Monster was – I kept trying to get him to try it. I said, don't make me eat the whole thing. You got to try it before I'm done.
That's your Michael Jordan right there. That's the one?
Might be.
Okay.
Might be. I mean, it's hard, man. It's hard to pick one. Did you try that?
Yes. It is very – I'm going to try it again, actually. Did you try it yet?
No, I'm talking.
Oh. Well, that's okay.
Friday 5 here on the Sports Bash. 97.3 ESPN.
Josh, I know you're getting sick of all this stuff here. I know you're probably happy.
By the way, the Friday
5
Five is brought to you by Jersey Cal. It's a year-long thing in Northfield at Seeking Brigantine. It's the best ice cream. Now, let me tell you, did you know they're open year-round? You come out here in the dead of winter.
I'm going to.
You come out here in the dead of winter, and there's a line of people trying to get the
I can
ice cream.
attest to this.
Oh, I can attest. I've been in the line. Now, they assure me, and they're not lying about this, because I've been there. Now, you could drive by here at any time and see a line down to the street here.
Mm-hmm.
They said 10 minutes. That's the longest you'll wait.
That's perfect. That's a perfect window.
Is that like one of those like deliveries? If you don't get the pizza within 30 minutes, you get the pizza for free. They don't do that anymore, right?
No, but like Uber Eats, if you get a delay, they'll give you some Uber cash.
Yeah. Now, I've never had this before. The ice cream over with the coffee over top of it?
Yeah, affogato.
Oh, man.
It's very good.
I don't know what to do.
It does really wake you up, huh? Gets your hair standing.
Get that coffee going.
Yep.
So Friday 5, Josh, we did this back in the summer. It was the second week of the summer. My Friday 5 at that time, now one of the games was last night, which really shouldn't be in the Friday 5 because it's games that were not played yet.
Right.
But I had Washington Packers, Bears Lions, Bucks Texans, Falcons Vikings, and Rams Titans. That was my Friday 5 then.
Correct.
The Friday 5 now, obviously the game last night is not included. It would be, see, things have changed. I think they're already different. I would say Denver, Indianapolis is in there now. That was not in there before.
Daniel Jones made that much of a difference.
One of those teams is going to be 2-0. The other one, if Indianapolis gets it 2-0, that'll be interesting because the Texans play Monday night against Tampa. That's in my Friday 5.
Yep.
How about certainly not Rams, Tennessee again. I mean, that was in there for some reason. I don't know how that. Oh, Dallas Giants, the losers, 0-2.
Yep.
That's in there.
Got to be.
How about kind of intrigued by Chargers Raiders? Way more intrigued today than I was in the second week of the summer.
Well, a 2-0 Chargers team is a scary team, I would say.
How about a 2-0 Vegas team?
They would be 2-0.
It's really hard to do this with this ice cream staring at me.
Did you say Chicago at Detroit?
Chicago at Detroit. Now, that was in my Friday 5, but I got to tell you, that Bears performance coupled with the Lions performance, I'm down on both of those
still
teams.
Has the Ben Johnson stuff, though.
But, Josh, in the summer, I kept putting the Bears in a lot of my stuff.
Yes,
saying
you did.
The Ben Johnson stuff. He didn't impress me all that
But
much.
Ben Johnson going back to Detroit,
that'll
for
be
me.
in the 5. I think that's the 5th one.
I will say, I think that the Ben Johnson stuff, we need to separate that from the Caleb Williams, because I think Ben Johnson did do a good job in his first game. Look, the Bears still scored over the team total 20.5 points set by the odds maker. That's a good Bengals defensive coordinator. And Ben Johnson found a way to get Caleb Williams, who was very inconsistent on Monday night,
Not
to
Bengals
score.
defensive coordinator. Not Bengals.
Sorry,
defensive
Vikings defensive coordinator, Brian Flores.
Right. Yeah.
Here's the thing. You're right to an extent. There were plays to be made, and Caleb Williams didn't make them. There were guys wide open, and
DJ Moore's running down the sidelines.
he can't make the throw. He's just so erratic. Now, there's going to be games where he's 30 of 40 with 330 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Is there going to be games like that, though?
Yeah, he'll
Oh,
pull
yeah.
one of those out of his
He had them
team.
last year when he had basically you, me, and Mike calling plays.
Yeah, but he did have better weapons last year. He had Keenan Allen. He had Adunze. He's still there. And there was the other guy they had out there. DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, yeah. They only lost Keenan Allen.
I guess. But he does have decent weapons. And he got 2 good tight ends. They drafted the tight end. Then they got Komet. And Swift can catch he's a weapon out of the backfield.
So maybe next year's the year for Chicago and not this year?
Maybe. I don't know. I just don't think Caleb Williams to me is too erratic. And there's no evidence that he wants to put his head on and be
And do work.
100% invested in football.
He's got a little Kyler Murray in him, you saying?
Yeah, he just, he's here, there, everywhere. And,
Too much time on TikTok.
The whole thing from the start, he wanted ownership in a team. Who the bleep do you think you are, dude? Seriously. Like, before you ever stepped on a field, you think you are good enough to have ownership in a team? You wanted to have that guaranteed before someone drafted
These guys
you?
are entitled now. With the NIL money, they're just all entitled.
Very true.
Yeah, he is.
He's entitled, all right.
He, number one, right off the bat, if I was the Bears, I would have said, red line, right through you. Jaden Daniels, thank you very much. And my point was, and even in college, he wasn't that much better than everybody else, where you had to make him the number 1 overall pick. We're like, oh, my God, how did you not take him? But I felt like the Bears felt that was the situation,
it's the
that they
Bears.
had to take him or they would have been ridiculed.
I think we've talked ourselves into keeping this game on the Friday 5, brought to you by Jersey Cow.
It's in there. How about Jacksonville, Cincinnati? That in there at all?
I'm intrigued because of what Liam Cohen said this week. I don't know if you guys heard what the Jags head coach said, Mr. Duval. He came out and said that Travis Hunter is going to play more defense this week than last week.
Yeah, what did he play? 4?
He only played 4 snaps
or something
last
like
week.
that last week.
Because they said they wanted to give Trevor Lawrence with him more offense.
How about him matched up against Jamar Chase?
That's the idea. I want to see what that looks like.
Yeah. Yep.
New England Dolphins, meh.
Patriots
San
are going.
Francisco, New Orleans.
Can I just say really quick? Patriots are going to pound the Dolphins into the sand.
Dolphins look like they've given up. San
In week
Francisco,
2,
New
they've
Orleans.
given up.
Spencer Rattler's 0-7 as a starter. Mac Jones is starting for the Niners. That's not
why
in my
I'm
list.
interested right there.
No George Kittle. He's out.
Buffalo Jets, meh.
I mean, you just whistled and waved the story of the 49ers Saints game. You bring up Spencer Rattler's record. That's not the story. The story is all the documented evidence was that Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones. Everyone talked him out of it to take Trey Lance. Now he's got Mac Jones. I want to know, was this obsession that Kyle Shanahan reportedly had legitimate or not?
Okay, well, you can put that in your 5. It's not.
It's in my 5.
Okay, it's not on mine.
Well, San Francisco, real quick, more injuries for that team.
Yeah, no Kittle, no
We saw
Purdy.
last year what happened to that team, and these injuries continue to pile up for them.
Buffalo Jets, not really. Not much there for me. Seattle, Pittsburgh. I mean, Aaron Rodgers now at home for the first time. Seattle didn't look very good last week. Sam Darnold, maybe he should have stuck with Kevin O'Connell.
Well, he didn't have a good ending to his career. He looked like the same guy.
Nope.
That got blasted for all those sacks in the playoffs.
Cleveland Ravens. Now, Joe Flacco did admit going back to Baltimore is means something for him. Like he won a Super Bowl there, if you don't remember. Carolina, Arizona, nah. Atlanta and the Vikings. It's a more interesting like the fact, because Minnesota was one of those teams, like if the quarterback can play, they won
Right.
14 games last year.
Yeah.
And guess what? The quarterback for one half looked really good.
He did, and Michael Penix looked okay. I mean,
He also threw a pick 6. So
I don't know, Atlanta. Something, I don't know, they're just meh. They feel like 8-9, 9-8. That's what they feel. And then there's 2 Monday night games this week. It's a 7:00 and a 10:00.
yeah, Tampa at Houston, LA Chargers at Vegas.
Yeah, both games are good, by the way. Tampa. By the way, my Friday 5 completely changed almost from the summertime. Isn't that crazy? 1 week.
That's why we do this exercise.
You feel
right?
so different about those games.
I love it. I love the fact that the storylines can completely morph the conversation.
It is. And Dallas Giants, too, just to go back to that game, the Giants, Sal Powell, I think it was, brought up, was it Sal Powell or somebody brought up an interesting point, was that Washington had trouble scoring against the Giant defense.
That was Sal, yeah.
Yeah, and now Dallas, you're going to see I would imagine the Giants are going to have all sorts of problems against the Dallas defense. They couldn't do anything against the Washington defense last night. And I would think the Dallas defense, whose defense is better, Washington or Dallas? I would say Dallas.
That's a coin flip.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I agree.
I
with
mean,
that.
neither
Coin
team
flip.
has a great edge rush.
No.
Both teams have good defensive tackles. Both teams have slightly older linebackers.
I think Dallas is better in the secondary.
Yes, Dallas has better corners. I'll give them that.
Yeah, that to me is the one difference in the two teams.
Right, Diggs and Bland.
So it'll be interesting to see. Giants have a really good defense, very good pass rush, and Dallas has a pretty good passing offense.
And we'll see how CeeDee Lamb really redeems himself after those dropsies Thursday.
So that's definitely in my Friday 5, and the Friday 5 is brought to you by Jersey Cal. Ice cream's a year-round thing at Jersey Cal. Well, it's been an all-day thing here.
I'm sad that it's almost over. Maybe Rob has one more grand finale for us. I'm waiting.
I don't know if I can handle anymore. Jeez. Coming up, sorry.
Don't hurt
coming
yourself
up,
over there.
I want the grand finale. It's been a fireworks show for 4 hours. I'm ready.
I got
to
to tell you one secret here, okay? Just for me. You don't have to listen to me. The serving sizes are very big. So if you say, like, I have to order a kitty when I come here, that's a good thing.
That is a good thing, yeah.
Like you say, hey, I'll take the kitty size because you get an ice cream cone. They give you 2 colossal scoops of ice cream.
Yeah, we're only eating little flights.
That's a great idea, though. For the, I don't know that they sell flights like that, though.
Yeah.
You know. All right, got another chance for you to qualify to win Eagles tickets, Eagles-Giants tickets. What else? Oh, I had this stat for you earlier, Peachy. Okay. Arrowhead Stadium. Yesterday we said there's a lot of Eagle fans were flying down there. 29% of tickets sales have come from the state of Pennsylvania.
That's unbelievable.
29% of ticket sales for Arrowhead Stadium on Sunday have come from Pennsylvania. Could be more than just one green section of Arrowhead.
You think so?
Sounds like it. Probably more Oklahoma fans at the Temple game.
Right.
25,000 Oklahoma fans predicted or suspected. Now, that Sun didn't have to do that, right?
No, it's right in our face.
By the way, I did a little digging for you about that, Mike.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma is playing at Temple because they wanted a road game in an NFL stadium to give their fans more ticket opportunities on the road to travel.
Oh, okay. Well, they get to see Lincoln Financial Field. They're going to own the place.
That's a good excuse to beat up on Temple.
Well, the other
game
reason,
balls.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say the other reason was that they were hoping Jalen Hurts was still in town that weekend, but they missed out on that.
Oh, they missed him.
He's got bigger things to do, okay, Henning?
They scheduled the game like 2 years ago, Pete.
He's going into Arrowhead, all right? He's got bigger things to worry about.
Game balls, predictions. By the way, my game balls last week, one was for Jalen Carter.
Yes, it was.
I don't think I got that one right. Forget who my game ball on the offense was.
I don't know. I just remember Jalen Carter because it was so
Yeah,
ironic.
definitely, I remember Jalen Carter. Game balls prediction next. More Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN. All right, get ready to wrap up things here at Jersey Cal. By the way, there was a grand finale.
He what? Yeah, he came
You
through.
thought that agave was the last.
Yeah, that affogato thing. Yeah,
You thought that was it.
I thought that was
The
a grand
coffee
finale.
settle you
Yes.
down for the night.
I'm all
The
hyper now.
fluffer nutter came out over the top like Randy Macho Man Savage off the top rope.
It sure did.
Now, if you're bringing home the pint for you, not
I
your
am.
daughter.
Well, she's getting one and I'm getting another.
Oh, what'd you go with?
I want the mint chocolate chip.
You went old school.
Yep. But you know, the Cookie Monster, I do have some regrets,
Yeah?
but I'm going to try and forget about it and just focus on the mint chocolate
This
chip.
fluffer nutter, it's on another level, man. It's just on another level. I got to focus up for the picks. All right, here we go. This game, to me, I mean, you try to look for different roads to victory pass, and it's like
For Kansas City or for Philly?
Kansas City.
How do you beat the Eagles?
Look,
What's the
2
best way
years
to do it?
ago in the Super Bowl, I thought the Eagles were clearly the better team, and they lost that game. But that was a much better Chiefs team than this one. And I thought the Chiefs team on Friday night just looked pedestrian, right? I mean,
No energy.
the Chargers are decent. And I don't say that they're decent. They're a good team. I don't think the Chargers are like an explosive offense. Like, they've got some weapons. Herbert's very good, but they're not the Eagles offensively. I don't know how the Chargers slow them down, and I just don't see the weapons in the Kansas City passing game. I'm going Philadelphia. I'll go 34-17.
Wow.
Philly. 34-17 Philly. Game balls.
I'm a Giants fan.
34-17 Philadelphia. I got game balls for A.J. Brown.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yep.
a good.
He
He's
has
going to love hearing that.
One catch 1 week, you get 12 the next. It's like a baseball player, right? You get 4 home runs one night, you strike out 4 times.
Kyle Schwarber.
Yep, that's A.J. Brown. Defense, give me a little outside the box here. I'm going to go Nolan Smith on this one.
I like that.
Nolan Smith is my game ball for that side of the ball. Eagles 34-17, that's my pick. All right, anything else? More ice cream?
Phillies Royals this weekend.
Yeah, both teams are playing Kansas City this weekend. Walker
That is
Buehler
true.
tonight. Yeah,
There you go.
Walker Buehler makes his Phillies debut tonight, so go home and watch Walker Buehler.
Now, how does that match up like that perfectly? How does it sync up that the baseball team's playing Kansas City and the football team's playing Kansas City? Are they in cahoots? Is that a conspiracy?
Doubt it.
Is that just a coincidence?
They could have. It would have been great if they were all like if the Philly fans went down there and got to go. Like you could have made a whole weekend out of it. Go
Right.
to see the Royals game on Friday or Saturday.
Yep.
Go to the Eagles game on Sunday. Actually, you could have done both because the game would be at 1:00, and then you go to the game at 4:25. You can go right across. And I think the stadium there, like in Philly, where it's in the same complex.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. Thanks to everybody here at Jersey Cal. We had a great day. It was so much fun. It was a blast. And check out all our social medias for all the pictures and the videos and everything. We got the Adam Sandler giveaway if you filled out that. By the way, how many honks today? 25.
25.
25 honks.
It's pretty good.
It's a big day. We want to thank the people from Jersey Cal, all the workers and everybody who basically made us feel gluttonous today.
I mean, we were treated like kings.
It was
There's
glutton.
no question.
It was a lot of fun. All right, back on Monday, we're at Ocean on Monday's show. And, of course, got the Best of the Sports Bash up next, the locker room this weekend, hanging with Henning. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you on Monday. But first, 609-573-3776, 609-573-3776. Caller 7 right now. You are entered to win tickets to see the Eagles-Giants Thursday night football game, October 9th at MetLife Stadium. Be caller 7 right now, and that gets you in the running for Eagles-Giants tickets at MetLife Stadium. We'll be live at Maynard's in Margate on Wednesday. We're going to pull out one lucky winner's name. You must be present to win. When you get there on Wednesday, you will sign in, and at the end of the show, we will select the winner. You must be there to win the prize. It's a pair of Eagles tickets. It is a ride to and from the game. It is a full tailgate party with all the Eagles fans at MetLife Stadium. October the 9th, Thursday Night Football. We'll be live at Maynard's. Have a great weekend, everybody. See ya.